Hello everyone, welcome to the MNLCS. This is going to be Game Series 2 of Season 2. I really screwed that up.
Yeah, you did.
Now, either way, this stream is going to be brought to you by Fen as the colorcaster and Dreamer as your play-by-play caster. And don't forget, the MNLCS is brought to you by Invade, bringing you some of the best apparel within the local Minnesota area. Now, our first game is going to be Macalester versus the UMN Ganked by Gophers. Dreamer, you saw the games back on Tuesday. Do you think these matches will be any more exciting, or do you think they'll be about the same?
I mean, I wouldn't say that they're not going to be exciting, because that's not going to do justice for either team. But I am going to be very curious to see how they will adapt to each other's gameplay. Especially because looking at the stats for Tuesday, we saw a lot of tanks, a lot of, those really tanky CC power picks. And I'm really going to be confused if we're not going to see that from either one of these teams, because, people like Vi, people like Zach, people like Camille, it was 100% banned or picked or banned last Tuesday. So I'm going to be very... I'm going to see how this goes, and I'm going to be very curious to see who gets what in this game.
Yeah, and we also saw Camille being 100% pick banned, so far the only champion to have that status, and that means that throughout the rest of the split, that is the only champion to possibly have that status. She is quite strong right now, though, and other champions to keep an eye out for are also going to be mid laners such as Rise, and also a few of the junglers have been seeing quite a bit of popularity, Vi, and also Rengar. Do you think those will stay consistent picks, or do you think we'll see something new today? I'm kind of hoping for something new.
I honestly want a Kha'Zix. I mean, Rengar's in there. Rengar, normally is building tankier just because he can do the bursting very early in the levels. Obviously in later games, you want to get him tankier so he can be able to, do a moderate amount of damage, but not die in a heartbeat either. But I want to see some Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix is this beautiful assassin that can just get into the back line, delete the carries, and get out in a heartbeat. And I feel like if Kha'Zix was picked for either one of these teams, they're going to do amazing with him. Unless the other team decides to say, hey, they have a Kha'Zix, we're going to go and make sure that we give him hell.
Yeah, that's very true. One thing I've always seen in solo queue is that whenever Kha'Zix is picked up as a jungler for one team, the other team usually likes to go something either really tanky that just denies off Kha'Zix's damage, or something that can equally dive just as heavily, such as Vi or Hecarim. And it's usually an even matchup, but Kha'Zix always outscales.
The only the only champion that I honestly think that can counter Kha'Zix even throughout the entire game is, and it's going to be weird, Skarner. Why? Because with Skarner and his passive, with the crystals that are just around the map, if you try to fight Skarner in his own jungle as a Kha'Zix, you're not going to win. Skarner has the shield. Skarner even if he has to be in his crystal, obviously, to go ahead and kill the Kha'Zix, but Kha'Zix has to be very wary of that. So if a Kha'Zix does get picked today, I would be so happy to see a Skarner being picked as the counter pick for Kha'Zix, just because if Kha'Zix jumps in, Skarner can just go ahead and ult him and bring him to the team, and then boom, he's deleted now.
Yeah, that is very true. However, I doubt that with the general state that Skarner is in, that he will be seen as pick, because while it is a specific counter pick, not many teams have been seen to go for direct counter picks. A lot of them seem to go for just pure meta picks to try and not really outscale one another, but try to outplay one another, especially in the early phase of the game where you can snowball, try and get ahead and just use a lead that you get and make it your own powerhouse to run off of and dominate the other side.
Oh, 100%. Like I said, if Skarner did get picked today, it would be that definitely make me happy. But like you said, the meta picks are the meta picks for a reason. Skarner, I don't think he hasn't been meta for a very long time, but he does have the potential to CC, to gank, and to do everything like that, and be able to take out Kha'Zix as well. But that's only if only Kha'Zix does get picked.
Yeah, that is true. Now, since you mentioned a pick you would love to see, a pick I would love to see is a champion who just got reworked this patch, and that is going to be Warwick. I have been seeing him a lot in solo queue, especially on the bans though, sadly. But I love him. His new thematic, especially his new W, the Blood Hunt, is such a wonderful ability to see in use. You get really pulled into the game with the music and the visuals of it, and I can't wait to see how that comes out in spectation mode.
Well, I do want to see some Warwick as well. The solo queue, he's not really doing well with only a 43% win rate, fourth lowest out of all the junglers right now, even with this, update and everything. So that is very upsetting to hear and to see that Warwick is not doing as good. But this isn't solo queue. This is a 5-man team. These are people that, have worked together, have, hopefully have synergy with each other. And Warwick can do work. Definitely 100% he can do work if he lands his ultimate. And that movement speed is the name of the game for Warwick. Being able to bring a ghost, bring Dead Man's Plate, get a few clouds underneath your feet. Warwick can jump. He's got some mad jumping skills if he can get some movement speed behind him.
Oh yeah, especially with some of the more popular champions, we've seen that Karma starting to rise up again as a pick against these mage supports, as well as Lulu being a zero counter pick that we've seen within the much higher scenes of competitive. And speaking of competitive, as you mentioned with Warwick, EULCS just today had 2 Warwick picks, 1 win, 1 loss with Unicorns of Love. Now, they are, again, much higher rankings for competitive. However, if that's an indicator of how Warwick will be in the competitive scene for this tier, I would love to see him have equal levels of play.
Definitely. And going back to that Lulu pick, I love Lulu, and I love the fact that she's being brought again for Malzahar. Just because Pix is a lovely little fairy that can say, hey, Malzahar, you're going to bring your little minions. I'm just going to delete them with the 1 auto. And being able to polymorph and everything like that. I feel like Lulu's being brought back just to counter Malzahar, but as well as to, AD carries are not in the great spot right now with all this, the Assassin update, with how much love tanks are getting, with how much love, all these reworks and everything like that. So AD carries have to be kind of a utility thing now, not really even hyper carries like Jinx, like Tristana, like, Vayne. It's really unfortunate to hear that, but with Lulu, you can kind of bring the hyper carries back into this play just because you can do the protect the ADC comp, or even just, being able to protect a carry in general with Lulu.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense, especially with the divers. You would think that the meta would go back to these protect the AD carry compositions. However, we have seen most people go around and have AD carries become a utility piece, such as Varus, Ashe, and Jhin, all bring heavy amounts of utility for the mid game specifically, rushing things such as Essence Reaver to get the max CDR. And you will also be seeing some AD carries such as Ezreal, who can stay safe on his own. Now, another safe AD carry that people used to see a lot was Lucian. However, he has been nerfed quite heavily, and there is a slight chance we may see his return with the recent buffs to lethality, which was the general build that he loved.
Yeah, I don't know, though. The only reason why I say that is with lethality, the buffs, they were good, and I appreciate the lethality buffs, but I don't think that buff in general will bring Lucian back into this game. Yes, Lucian's passive, you can get an extra auto attack. He's fast, he's nimble, but it's like the utility carries are just so much more useful at this current moment in the meta. Even Ezreal, who can build, blue Ezreal, go ahead and grab the frost, the gauntlet and everything like that. It's like he's even a choice because he can go both carry and utility at the same time. Just like Jhin. Jhin can do damage. He can go utility. Varus and Ashe, more utility based, but with, like you said, with all the diving and everything like that, they're kind of... Lucian, I don't think he's going to be able to see a lot more play until he either gets a buff or the utility champions get a nerf.
That is very true. Another way I could see Lucian coming back, actually, is if divers and tanks are weakened, especially through things such as Courage of the Colossus, and the thing that becomes a lot more meta is zone control mages, because that's what Lucian specifically counters. However, we are getting a little too off topic, and let's look over at the other thing that's really affecting the bot lane meta, and that's going to be these mage supports. As you were mentioning, Malzahar and Zyra and even Misfortune have been seeing a lot of play throughout the entire world. Yes, God. I heard that little cringe to Misfortune support.
Oh, Misfortune, please.
Yes. Now, yes,
I'm
everyone
so
hates hearing
upset.
it.
I'm so upset at Worlds for that. I don't remember who brought it in. I don't remember why it got brought in. I remember it because of Zyra.
It was
but,
KT roster and SKT.
KT, you guys are amazing. But no, you started this terrible trend, and it's just I don't approve. But I digress. You're right with the Malzahar, with like even Brand, Misfortune, Zyra, those hyper carry mages are now kind of going to the bot lane, just because we were talking about how AD carries are now being utility. So it's kind of even almost like a role swap, except the AD carries are still getting the farm. That's the only difference.
That is mostly because the mage supports that we're seeing have very low gold cost items, such as the Leandri's Torment, and even the Rylai's Crystal Scepter changes made it much more affordable for supports, which is honestly the dream. I am a support main. The moment I saw those changes, I knew mage supports were going to come back into meta, and I even figured that some of the older ones that were seen as too weak could come back, just because it's much easier to get that item now with such a huge power spike, because you add utility to every single ability in your kit just by landing it.
Yeah, that's very true. The Rylai's Crystal Scepter got a huge buff. All the just mage items got a huge buff. So it just kind of brings those carry mages down to the bot lane. But as those mages are going down to the bot lane, people or champions like Lulu, champions like I've even seen Brahms coming back in here just because to counter this Misfortune. I've seen Bards, being able to go ahead and just use their ults, being able to stun and everything. It's like with this meta starting to develop, counters are already developing as well. So I do want to see how these teams are going to go ahead and counter or start with this meta, or even start making a new meta just for the MNLCS.
Yeah, that's a very good point you make. And the one thing that we haven't really touched on at all, we've mentioned tanks top lane, divers, and some assassins such as Kha'Zix in the jungle, the utility AD carries, the mage supports, and some return of tank supports to counter these mages. But the one thing we have not even looked at, which I don't even know how we can even touch on, is mid lane. There are some overpowered picks right now, such as Ryze, Cassiopeia, Syndra, that are still very strong, but there are so many other champions that can work just as easily. We've been seeing Echo, Katarina. Basically, anything can work right now if you're good enough with it, and that's what I love to see, because it means there's going to be a lot of diversity, but at the same time, it means that we can also get a lot more specialized picks from the mid lane players rather than having to adhere to the meta.
I don't know. Like, I feel a lot of the mid lane has to be hyper carries. Like you said, Echo's being brought back in. Katarina's being brought back in. Ryze is just a huge carry in general if he gets started. Cassiopeia is now being brought back in, especially that she doesn't need to buy boots for her passive. She doesn't need to worry about that. She can go 6-item pure damage dealer and just do work. So I feel like it's unfortunate, but the meta right now is top laners have to be those divey, tanky people. Mid or jungles have to be either, again, divey tanks or assassins, and mid laners are going to be those hyper carries again, while the supports are being the hyper carries as well, and the utility AD carries are just kind of being left in the dust.
Yeah, that is very true. We do still see, though, that AD carries can put in a decent amount of damage once they really get their builds further on, but this focus with things such as Essence Reaver have really been what's holding them back in the early stages of the game. Now, one thing we have been seeing is, again, with the lethality changes, people such as Varus are starting to go Youmuu's Ghostblade again, and that is bringing in a lot of damage back into the early game.
I feel like with Varus in general, he's just doing a more pokey comp. You see, like you said, the Youmuu's Ghostblade. We do see him starting a tier like Ezreal does. We do see him just, it's more of a poking comp for just Varus. Varus can't really go that carry comp with, a Essence Reaver, a Randuin's Hurricane, or anything like that, just because there's so many he's an escapeless carry. That's just what it is. He's escapeless. Everyone's all about the dives, all about the assassinations, and he just has to stay back and poke. And with his Q, he can poke from a distance, which is really good on it.
Yeah, and the long distance Q with Varus is also what keeps him really safe against these divers, because you can just sit behind all your tanks and safely still do damage without having to walk up too far. The only thing I don't like, though, is if you go the Essence Reaver build and you're starting to get low on mana, you're going to have to walk forward and auto-attack in order to regenerate your mana. Now, back to the tier build that we've been seeing rise again, it makes so you just have that much more mana to continually spam your Q. It's a lot more of a caster build, which I think is better for Varus. However, it's not nearly as strong late game as with the Essence Reaver build.
You're very right on that, but just, I mean, like we said, he is utility, or Varus is utility AD carry. That's just how it is. His ultimate, all about utility. His poking, all about, he can do damage. He can do damage with his Q, like you said, while staying back. But I'm going to end this conversation. It looks like we are going to go ahead and start with our picks and bans for now.
Yeah, we're just going to be waiting for Himir, who is the current room leader, to go ahead and start. Once he does, we are actually going into pick and bans now. One thing I am pretty sure we're going to continue seeing is the 100% pick ban on Camille. If she doesn't go out right away, I would be surprised. We actually see a Lee Sin ban immediately. What do you think that's all about?
Is that I'm wondering if that's just a stab at Potato for saying, hey, we're not letting you Lee Sin. LeBlanc, that's a typical ban. Renekton, he's been going a lot more attack-filled or attack damage builds while still being able to tank. So I can understand how Rengar, is gonna take a seat for this one. Or not Renekton. Sorry, Renekton.
Yeah, and we even saw him back on Tuesday. He was banned during one of the games. It was a little bit confusing to see at first, and we actually see a Malzahar ban. So that is one of those mage supports completely banned out.
That's a one. I agree with that pick. I agree with that ban. Get him out of here. He doesn't need to be involved in this.
Yes, and if the other mage support Zyra is banned out, that would actually mean that they could stray away from the utility AD carries and let the utility go back into the support positions themselves. We just have to see how they want to play this out. And we see a Azir ban.
Is that it? Are these just like picks at picks at the mid laner right now? Because I don't think we've seen an Azir at all this game or this tournament, unless I missed it last Tuesday.
No, there was no Azir, and even in solo queue and more competitive play scene, there's barely been any Azir showing. Now, there is the Camille ban. Again, yeah, she's the only 100% pick ban.
Definitely waiting for that Camille ban. It was like, hey, we're going to make you ban Camille or we're going to pick it right away. Varus, however, is the first pick for Mac.
Now, I imagine picking up these utility AD carries early on is going to be the standard strategy with most teams, just because they are very safe picks. You can't really counterpick a utility AD carry yet. Most you could try and go someone that'll out-damage them. But again, as we've said, there are all these divers and mages that are so strong. You don't want someone who doesn't have utility.
All right, we do see a Thresh going to go ahead and picked up for GBG. And hovering over Graves, most likely, obviously, if Graves does get picked up, I have seen him being played as an AD carry as of late, but that does not mean he can't go into the jungle where he kind of belongs at the moment, in my opinion, obviously.
I believe he'll be staying in the jungle with some of the changes that we mentioned earlier, as well as the changes to the jungle, making it so that jungle monsters do more damage. Oh, wait, here's that Kha'Zix you're talking about.
No, don't get me excited yet. They still have 45 seconds to pick. I am not getting excited.
This is mostly going to be locked in. We also see a Maokai being hovered for the other side. That is locked in for Kha'Zix.
Yes! Now, that's what I wanted to see. That Kha'Zix picks is going to be amazing. And Maokai, that's another champion right there that has been huge. Maokai will get, destroyed in the top lane, but it doesn't matter because Maokai just needs to build 2 items, and he just can never die. So I approve of this Maokai, especially because Maokai can go ahead and get into those backlines, and while Maokai is doing his thing, Kha'Zix can go ahead and just assassinate whoever he needs to assassinate.
Yeah, and even then, you could have Maokai join Kha'Zix with the Maelstrom up in order to keep Kha'Zix alive, because that has flat damage reduction, meaning that you can have as much penetration as you want. It's still going to be reduced by flat percentage. Now, we also see a Syndra locked in. Wait, no,
Is that locked in yet? Nope, they're still gonna pick.
I thought that was locked in. My bad.
Nope, you're getting a little ahead of yourself. They keep going back to Syndra, and they got about 9 seconds to go. Victor's also being hovered as well. I don't mind the Victor, but I think Syndra will be the better pick, and it does look like they're gonna go ahead and pick the Syndra and the instant pick for Jhin.
Okay, so Jin has been seen as a great pick against the Varus just because he has slightly longer range than Varus, even though his ability to throw out those damage, such as from his W and also the Curtain Call, is a much longer cooldown than Varus's abilities. It is still longer range, meaning it's safer, and usually has more damage per hit if you can land it.
Yes. Well, the if you can land it is the key word in that. It is, you can dodge that thing very, very easily. Katarina, Lee is looking around, seeing that Katarina is opened. Fizz, he's kind of just playing around, seeing what he wants, what his team is thinking, what he's thinking. Yeah. And Echo.
I feel like they need a little more wave clear. Echo would work perfectly.
Echo and the insta pick for Morgana as well. So I like this. Syndra is all about press R to win. It can kill someone in a heartbeat. But with Morgana and Maokai. Morgana's going to be saying, hey, I'm going to protect whoever you decide to say I'm going to, throw my balls at.
Oh, and Nautilus, we also see the Nautilus.
Okay. Is the last pick for GBG, but I mean that's good. That means they do have some sort of tank for themselves. Nautilus does do a good amount of damage to Maokai if Nautilus can get ahead, even just a little bit ahead of Maokai. But I do like the comp that Mac has a little bit more than GBG just because they can do so much with it. Echo can go in, Varus can shoot or can poke, Morgana can save, Maokai can go in, and Kha'Zix can assassinate. While, yes, Nautilus can go in as well. Graves, I feel like the Graves pick is kind of the weak point in this. I agree with you. I don't know. I'm even trying to think like even a Jarvan or someone else that can go in would be a better pick, but great for Graves. But you know what? Maybe this is his best player, so I can't say anything.
Gonna stop you real quick. One thing to note, Wiki is holding on to Ignite rather than swapping over to Exhaust, which means that's gonna be much harder to stop the Kha'Zix when he goes to dive in. No, he switched last second. Okay. I was worried for a second, but he swapped at the very last moment he could.
Okay. All right. So we do have Syndra against Echo. That's wave clear versus wave clear. We'll see how that goes out. Jin and Varus, like you said, Jin is going to, do a little bit better than Varus. But, however, I will say this. If Kha'Zix does end up going down bot and even giving the bot lane just a little bit ahead, Jin could see a little bit of trouble just because Morgana can go in, shackle them all. Varus can, throw out his ultimate, and they won't be moving for a decent amount of time and probably will die in the process.
And you have to also think about this. They have Syndra, Jin, and Thresh, and Nautilus. Now, Nautilus can be both pick or engage, but the rest of the composition basically screams that they are a pick composition, while Macalester has Morgana. If Morgana is smart enough, she will probably want to max out the Black Shield a little bit earlier than usual to make it so that it's that much harder for them to go for those mid-game picks.
I mean, Morgana's a lot of saving grace right there. If they do end up trying to pick up Echo, Echo can just go ahead and ultimate, negate a lot of the damage right there. Maokai, honestly, can kind of just start building a Spirit Visage right away and not really have to worry about the Syndra or the Nautilus up top. And Kha'Zix is just going to try to have to kill Graves right away, kill Syndra right away, and just get as many kills as he can to scale up to that mid-game.
I imagine we'll be seeing a Bombi Cinder picked up for the Maokai before anything else, just because you still want that wave clear on Maokai that we're not having to burn through so much mana just to clear waves and keep the whole lane stationary towards it, or to make it so it's set to push. One thing to remember with Macalester, though, is that they have that Echo with teleports, meaning he will be a split push threat in the mid to late game stages. And they don't have anyone to really answer that. At most, they could send Syndra, but Syndra won't have a teleport to answer if they go for an objective across map, or they could send Graves, because Graves could beat an Echo 1v1 realistically. The only issue is, though, you mentioned it, Echo can easily escape using his ultimates. There's no way to really work around that. They just have to let Echo split push and try and force a 5v4 elsewhere.
It's not even that the Echo can go ahead and split push. You can also go ahead and let the Maokai split push, because Maokai, even though he doesn't have as good of a wave clear as Echo does, if he ends up going to split push, Maokai has that teleport, and a Maokai teleporting into your team is pretty damn scary. I'm sorry, especially being able to negate or reduce a lot of the damage with his ultimate. I don't know, like they have a lot of split pushing answers or the chances with Mac, but we will kind of have to see how that goes for GBG, if they will allow that or not.
Yeah, that is very true. And they could even just rotate the teleports as they're being used to determine who they want to split push at that moment. Now, we are loading into the game right now, so this is going to be game number 1 for day 2. Macalester versus Ganked by Gophers. Let us know in the Twitch chat who you think is going to win. For now, we will be taking a look at the keystones to see whether or not they are something that seem very common or if there's anything that's really going to surprise us.
I mean, I'm still loading in, so I'm going to go ahead and wait for that to load. But the only thing that I can think of is... Actually, I can't really think of anything that would be detrimental to anyone. It does look like everyone is kind of going for the typical... hold on. The only thing that throws me off a little bit, yet again, I'm going back to you, Graves, the Thunderlords.
I'm guessing it's going to be for early game ganking, just to make it so he can counter gank the Kha'Zix a little bit easier. While yes, usually going in Warlord Spelllots is much better for sustain, he needs that early power to make sure he can actually match the Kha'Zix during ganks.
That's definitely interesting. I don't know, like, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to give Graves any beef on it. He probably knows better than I do, so we will see. We do see the good lucks have fun, you know. Good luck to both teams. We'll see what happens. It looks like the typical line of scrimmage is going for both teams, making sure that no one ends up ganking or invading, this early into the game.
Yeah, and both teams have very good level 1 threats, so I imagine they won't really want to try and invade one another. They just need to keep each other at check, just in case. And that is enough of a threat to make it so that they will be standing at bay. I imagine we'll also be seeing very standard jungle starts where it'll be the jungler starting towards the bot lane and then moving up for either a full clear on Kha'Zix and Graves. Graves can much more easily and safely do the full clear because of his passive, but Kha'Zix should have a faster clear just because there are so many more single target camps to keep the isolation on.
Minions have spawned.
You're absolutely right on that. We do see the Graves is going to go ahead and go back to his blue, while Kha'Zix is actually going to go ahead and start his blue as well. Depending on if bot lane shows early, they will not be notified that Kha'Zix is starting blue. Instead, probably will start red. That's what I would say for the bot lane, is to kind of not show, but it does look like they're just going to go in right away. And Syndra coming out with that early harass right away, but taking a little bit of damage just from the minions in general.
Yeah, I imagine that's not going to do a whole lot, just because of the way which we... Sorry, my screen froze for a second. Just the way that we see that the Echo is already chugging the pots, and if Kha'Zix... Oh, actually, no, he's going for a direct invade. He's going to be going in to take the red buff from literally Potato. I wonder if he'll be spotted out, or if he's going to be taking it safely. Oh, wait.
I don't think he's going to be spotted out just because Graves is actually doing the exact same thing and going into invade for their red. So it doesn't look like they're going to really be losing much either side.
Yeah, that is really interesting right there. The fact that they can both invade each other, they know that way that they are in each other's jungle right now. Because Kha'Zix isn't going to be spying Graves coming up to his top side. He has the ward right by the Raptors. And just because it's taking so long for Graves to potentially reach there, he knows that something is up. Ooh, and we actually see Graves in the bot lane. It's going to be an early gank.
Oh, would you see the Graves in the bot lane? It looks like Vars is going to go ahead and end up going down. First blood over to the Jhin. Morgana is trying to stay alive. I do think I saw a flash. No.
No flash.
Okay.
That was a heal and exhaust.
Okay, heal and exhaust. Heal. You know, I mean, Vars did still have the flash, but that was a smart play to go ahead and save it for himself to make, because he knew he was going to die no matter what.
Yeah, and even then, it was very nice of them to give the kill over to Never Vote Yes, because as you mentioned, Jhin is stronger than Varus in the early stage of the game, and he can use that to easily snowball out of control, where Lee won't be able to handle anything that Never Vote Yes throws at him.
Ooh, it looks like they're going to actually try to dive the Morgana. Morgana actually black shielding at the right moment. Jhin will take a tower shot and go down pretty low, but Morgana is still alive, so that is not another kill towards bot lane for Gophers.
Yeah, and we can see that Hear Me Roar is already over in the mid lane, as well as the Maokai looking for a potential gank. However, he is spotted out by the ward, so he will have to head back. He's going to be missing a lot of experience, as Spliffy is already a level ahead of him.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. I mean, he did have his lane kind of pushed, so I do understand the attempt at the mid lane, you know, trying to get an echo started as well. It is a really good option, but it did not go as planned, so he did end up losing a little bit of experience and a little bit of gold as well. But what's really confusing to me right now is bot lane took a lot of time to get back into lane.
Yeah, from what it looks like, they actually took the Gromp and then backed. That is what I saw. I may be wrong. Don't hold me up to that. And actually, we see Echo going for an all-in using parallel convergence.
Oh, he has it. He could have stacked the proc, or he could have proc the third auto attack, but he decided to say, "Hey, I'm going to be a little bit I'm going to be safe here. I'm not going to do anything too drastic."
Yeah, and we already do see that the Maokai is almost out of mana compared to Nautilus, so he will have to back real soon. It's going to put him at an even bigger disadvantage. He'll probably be forced to teleport, meaning that there will be a teleport advantage over for Ganked by Gophers, and we see that he's actually getting quite low. Will he be dove? I imagine not, because Graves is nowhere near to be found.
Yeah, Graves is definitely not in range. He is going back right there, so they will not be going for the dive in the top lane as you are, you know, as you're throwing it out there. But we are kind of seeing just a little bit of, you know, a little bit of ward covering, warding out for this bot lane. Bot lane is going to go ahead and or Thresh is going to do a little bit of damage to the Morgana, not really doing much, but they do lose that ward in that tri-bush, so it is dark for that blue sider.
Yes, however, they do have the Kha'Zix nearby to keep an eye out, so even if Graves were to show up, there is not that much of a big threat at the moment, because as you can see, Graves right now has the Caulfield's Warhammer, meanwhile Kha'Zix has the Skirmisher's Saber, and I believe the advantage right now is going to be over towards Kha'Zix because that Red Smite is just so powerful.
Ooh, a good amount of damage going onto the Thresh right now, getting bound up and everything. Kha'Zix is coming in. He's going to go ahead and flash away. Oh, the exhaust and the flash right there. Jin is actually trying to flash. Actually gets the kill onto the Varus. And
Thresh got away.
Thresh did end up getting away as well. And Graves is there to save the Jin from making sure he doesn't die. And that was a 0 for 1 going over to Gophers.
Yeah, and even then, we end up seeing that there was a flash burn by both Varus and Jin. However, that is so much in favor of Jin right now. He does not need the flash too much to stay safe. And he's going to be back in real soon. Looks like he just wants to get a little more damage on the wave. Oh, wait, no. Is he actually going to be staying? It's a little risky.
Not really, just because they have to have the bot or the jungler for Mac stay down there. So it's kind of like, hey, we're going to keep the jungler here. Don't really worry about mid or top. Or sorry, don't have to worry about getting ganked from this Kha'Zix right there.
The main threat I was seeing was mostly how double teleport was still up for Macalester, so they could easily use that to try and dive in, and there was no way for Ganked by Gophers to know whether or not there was a ward in the back line to potentially go with.
That's also true, but it, you know, we did see that there was no TPs or anything like that. A lot of flashes, a lot of exhausts going around, and it did end up going to the Gophers. You know, it's nice, and it did end up going, if I believe correctly, yes, it did end up going to Jin as well. So Jin, almost done with that, or with the Yomo's Ghostblade.
Oh yeah, he's actually going for the Yomo's Ghostblade instead of the Essence Reaver build, so he's going for a much more early to mid-game build rather than a late-game assurance, which I imagine with the team comps that they have built up, they wouldn't need that anyways because they can easily use Syndra and Graves for their late-game damage and keep Jin for utility purpose. Meanwhile, we can see that Maokai is trying to get a little bit of damage onto Nautilus, not doing too much, and is losing these trades, and Varus is getting kept!
Oh, there's the teleport that you were calling for right there. Morgana's gonna have to flash, but the teleport actually got cancelled.
Oh, that was a teleport by Echo!
Echo! Oh no, the Maokai...
As well, both!
Teleports were actually going in. Maokai is by himself, not really being able to do much. He's actually trying his hardest, but he couldn't get the Jin.
Oof, so this is a 4-0 lead.
Both teleports got used for bot. One got canceled, the other one didn't.
You know what the worst part is? Look top lane. Nautilus is still pushing, gaining a lot of damage onto this tower. There will be another wave crashing real soon, and there is still 7 seconds with no teleport on the Maokai.
Oh, that is super unfortunate.
And with this tower threat, this is going to be a free Ocean Dragon as well. There's nothing they can do.
Yeah, there's really nothing they can do. They do see that they're over there right now. I mean, they have it warded in the back of the pit. There's 4 of them over there. That's it. That's an easy Ocean going over to Gophers right there.
Yeah, and back for when the Echo started support, it was Cinder who cancelled it using the Scour of the Week, and also using the ultimate to try and kill him. However, Echo was able to get the Chrono Shift? Yeah, Chrono Break. Was able to get the Chrono Break out in time in order to save himself, and there was also the Ignite Burn. So there is no mid lane threat as of right now, unless if we see Graves come in for a gank.
I do see a lot of ganks going onto this Graves right now. A lot of attention is being brought to this bot lane. I mean, we do see right now 202 for the Jhin, 103 for the Thresh. Jhin just got done finishing up his Youmuu's Ghostblade, and Varus doesn't even have a call, so he can't really gain any extra gold from just getting those minions or anything like that. We actually see a lot of damage going on to the top lane. Nautilus is doing so much work, and Maokai is not really being able to do much. The ultimate's going down. We do see Graves again at the bot lane. Another ultimate right there going. Oh, actually, Hear Me Roar says, hey, I'm here this time, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure you die. But Maokai getting away with a sliver of health.
And that is the first kill we're going to be seeing going for Macalester. Can they do anything with this, though? It is not putting too much pressure anywhere in the lanes. There is still a wave shot up in the bot lane, and there is not too much that can be done right now, aside from a little bit of ward coverage.
That was definitely interesting. I'm really actually concerned right now with Maokai being, kind of staying right there. Nautilus is trying his hardest to go ahead and grab as many minions as he can before he backs, but he will not be able to do it. But Nautilus is going to do a lot of damage to that top lane. And
there is still no teleport.
There's no teleport. There's nothing to respond. There's no one even close to Nautilus up there.
Yeah, and the only thing I could really imagine is if they have the Kha'Zix ready to take the place of Maokai whenever he needs to back, just to keep the tower safe. However, it looks like they're going to rather be having the Kha'Zix heavy farm to keep it so we can stay on the same level of this Graves.
Alright, well, with that kill, did it do a little bit of damage, or did it help him out a little bit, and it did not go onto Kha'Zix, so Kha'Zix will be able to, get a little bit of his items, or at least back into this game, because Graves, is a whole finished item ahead of him, I should say.
Yeah, that is true. And we still see that if you just look at the bot lane, Jhin has already finished the Youmuu's Ghostblade, while Varus is still staying on the Caulfield's Warhammer, and he is
that's not good! And there's the current call, there's a current call. Oh, but Kha'Zix is actually there, trying to do as much damage as he can.
Oh, that is a 2-for-1!
And that is a 2-for-1. Morgana did end up actually killing the Thresh right there.
There was also a teleport coming in from Nautilus.
Was that a teleport from Nautilus? Oh, wait.
Yeah, that was a teleport coming from Nautilus that was cancelled. The moment he saw that everyone in the bot lane was dying, he decided to cancel it and just continue going to the top lane, try and get pressure somewhere else. Ooh, and we do see that during that entire gank, Graves was inside Kha'Zix's jungle, taking everything he can. So while, yes, there is a lot more pressure now down in the bot lane, and there is some relief, barely any of that gold went onto the Varus, so it still didn't do a whole lot.
Oh, this is so super unfortunate. Maokai is going to go ahead and go down right away to the Graves. So Graves taking all of that top jungle from the blue side, as well as getting a kill that's just putting Graves more and more ahead.
And with 20 seconds on this death timer, that's basically guaranteeing this top tower will be going down. And with the first blood tower, that will be 400 gold split up between the Nautilus and the Graves, unless... No, okay, neither of them backed off.
Oh! Oh, no!
No! Oh!
Oh, how much HP? I didn't even see how much HP.
That was 12. 12 HP.
HP.
Having only a corrupting potion would have killed him.
Oh, he had a chrono break. He got ignited. He had a flash. But luckily, not another kill going over to...
Oh, three-man dive right here onto Kha'Zix, though.
No,
oh, never mind.
Definitely not going to get dove on right there. It was all depending on the Thresh getting that hook. But the teleport is going to come in. And Echo is back in that lane. But it is looking like an ARAM with all 4 of these members in here. Ooh, taking the hook. Echo's gonna go ahead. He
has no chrono break.
He doesn't have chrono break. He is gonna go ahead and get out of there.
Not enough mana for Scare of the Week. Oh, we see Jin going heavy on Varus though.
What? Auto attacking the ward. He's like, nope, I gotta see this. Oh, yes, it. What? And that's it. That's a trade going over.
But now we're by the red buff. There was a kill right onto Morgana that entire time. He got picked out.
Morgana getting caught by the red buff, trying to save, you know, a little bit of Kha'Zix's jungle, but actually getting her life taken in the process. And
yeah, you really have to commend the games by Gophers, though. Even though they are still having some deaths back and forth, especially in the bot lane, that's where most of these deaths are happening. They are having excellent control of the jungle of Macalester. They are taking the top side jungle and bot side jungle, having complete ward coverage. You can see that these top side jungles ward all around the wolves, and there are wards by the raptors and the bot side entrance to the red buff.
Definitely. I'm actually really surprised to see how well Varus held up against Jin. And it's funny too, if he did not auto attack the ward, he would have lived.
What I think it was that Varus had used his ultimate on Jin, and Jin had accidentally been just out of range, so he had no other choice but to auto attack the ward. And I think he was trying to make it so he could prep his 4th auto attack while he was rooted.
No, Varus was the one that hit the ward, not Jin.
Oh, Jin also hit a ward.
Oh, I didn't see that one. That was because he got snared, though. That's understandable.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's hooked, though! And no root follow-up by the Jin.
Again, and it does look like they're trying to do a little something over here. Thresh, again, gonna go ahead and land that.
The Dragon. I think Thresh is just zoning for a free Dragon. However, Kha'Zix and Echo are over here trying to contest.
Nope, they are going to go ahead and grab it. The chrono break is going to not do anything for the Echo. And again, Raze is going to go ahead and flash actually over to the Kha'Zix. And another kill going over to Gophers right there. And now Nautilus is down here saying, hey, this is going to be my tower now.
And even Maokai's coming down trying to help them out. But I feel like this is not going to do a whole lot because the tower's already so low and there's a dive.
Ooh, super unfortunate. He's still there. He actually gets blocked, and Jin is actually going to go ahead and go down to the Maokai.
Now it's a tank v tank fight. We do see that Graze is on the sidelines, ready to dive if possible. But I feel like Nautilus is just a little too low, and it'll be hard for them to just go for the tower. Never mind, they're diving.
They are doing a little bit of damage, but the tower is more beneficial for the Maokai right now than anything else. And
yeah,
it looks like Maokai
seem a little weak, but he's still a Maokai. You have to respect that.
You do have to respect it, even with the items that he has right now, trying to go
but now
for
we
that
see Sunfire
Sunfire
King again. We see that Thresh is over here, and this is going to be a potential.
Nope, Thresh.
No? Okay.
Got to take the Thresh Lantern.
Yeah, the moment they saw Kha'Zix, they knew they had to get out. There was too much pressure, and they didn't have enough wards along the lane path to be able to tell who else was coming. Now, we do see, though, that there is a wave built up in the top lane, meaning that Maokai is going to be missing out on a lot of farm and experience. Right now, the gold differential between those top laners is roughly 2,000 gold. To be more precise, it's 1,600.
Dude, that's a big amount right there, especially because Graves and Jin, 5-1 and 2 on the Graves, 5-3 and 5 on this Jin, having so much damage and so much gold in their pocket. It's going to be very, very rough to see what happens next.
Now, one thing that's actually really interesting, though, is that if you look at the gold differential between the bot lane carries, it's only 1,000. Despite there being a 4-kill difference and a 1-assist difference, it's only a 1,000 gold separation between the two. That's
very
sure.
Interesting. Why?
I think it's mostly because... Oh, never mind. We see Echo getting cut out.
Yep. Oh, Kha'Zix does get away with his life. Echo does end up chrono shifting his way as well, and it does look like they're going to go ahead and try to take this tier 2 mid turret.
Yeah, and
Thresh is being great with these hooks right now, landing a lot of them, and they will not continue. No,
there is a mini wave coming up, so they have to wait. They will not try to take it in right there. Oh, and Graves is caught out. Will he be able to kill?
Yes, he will. Kha'Zix is going to go ahead and flash away. Graves does die. And here we go.
Another fight. Carries.
Oh, wow! Ends up
actually
killing the Varus, or the Varus ends up actually killing the Jin.
Oh, we thought the Varus was going to be going for a Yomu's Ghostblade, but he actually went for the Essence Reaver. That Caulfield's was 4 in Essence Reaper, actually, so that explains why he has a lot more cooldown reduction as of right now.
All right, another little skirmish is going on right here. We're gonna see.
Yeah, will they be trying
Syndra is actually gonna be going on right here. Actually, is he gonna? No, he's not gonna go ahead and live the ignite. He's gonna go ahead and take away. Varus is gonna die as well to the Nautilus. Maokai is trying his hardest to live. He's out of there. He's dead, and everyone else has to scatter.
That was not worth it at all for Macalester. They focused way too hard onto the Syndra, not realizing they would have to back off for what was yet to come. They did end up sacrificing 3 people just to go for that. Now, there were also 2 flashes burned, one by the Morgana, one by the Echo. And I honestly don't see why they went for that hard of an attempt if there wasn't a guarantee for them to be able to go out of it safely. They were outnumbered, and as of right now, Games by Gophers is 8,000 gold ahead. You have to recognize that. You have to be able to recognize that an even matchup in numbers of champions nearby is going to be a loss in your favor, or a loss in the other team's favor.
What I'm really concerned about, to be honest with you, there's another turret going over to GBG, and no turrets actually for Macalester at all. So that's really concerning as well. They need to go ahead and grab a turret for themselves, mid or something of the sort. But we do see Nautilus go. He's gonna go ahead and actually pick up a Spear Visage, as well as being that tank. He's just gonna be that brutal tank, and there's really no answer to Nautilus right now.
No, there is not. The closest thing they could have to an answer would be the Echo to try and countermatch it, because right now Maokai cannot handle him. However, I'm not even sure if Echo could handle the Nautilus right now.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Especially and Merc Treads.
Exactly. With that Spirit Visage pickup, it's going to be very hard for Echo to
they're gathering for the Baron. There are no wards on it at all from Macalester. They are nearby, but there are none directly on it. Will they be going for this? Oh, Maokai is going to be trying to make Thresh go away. However, he still gets the pink ward out, and they are doing a large bait that was spotted by a ward.
Yeah, they did see. They did get spotted by the board, so they weren't going to be able to use that bait, right?
Oh, there's a hook at the Kha'Zix!
And good night, Kha'Zix.
That was a lot of damage. Not even a single ultimate was used to burn him out. There was the curtain call, but I think that was there for further picks.
Oh, so many flashes. He's going to try to get the Jhin, but it's unfortunate. He's not going to be able to do it. They failed flash for both. Actually,
even the Varus fail flashed.
Yeah, Varus, that fail flash for Varus was...
And this should be a free Baron now, and it looks like they're going to keep Jhin in the mid lane in order to have the pressure going there, have the wave pushing in so that once they back and return with the Baron buff, they can immediately be going for some towers. Now they're having Jhin join in. He is a little low on health, so it may be risky.
I don't think so. I mean, that tower's about to, or the Baron's about to go down super quick, and it actually looks like they're gonna try to go ahead and grab another.
This will be a 5v3.
Oh, the
the 3-man stun.
It's gonna be great, but Maokai's by himself once again. He's not gonna be able to survive. Nautilus is gonna go ahead and take out the Echo. Graves are getting another kill onto the Maokai. I don't think that was worth it at all. I think Macalester is kind of playing on tilt right now.
They're playing a little bit on tilt, or it could also just be desperation, recognizing that they are on the last end of this game if they don't do something quick, and they have to look for a play. It's just that the plays that they are looking for are not the right ones. And one thing I just noticed in terms of itemization is Echo doesn't even have boots.
No, Echo hasn't had boots this entire game.
Yeah, I'm wondering how he's supposed to be planning to roam around the map if he doesn't have boots. Yes, he has his E for mobility, but it's not that much. It's very high cooldown. Right now, he only has 20% CDR. So
I mean, the only thing I can really think of, he does have the Proto Belt to give him that little bit extra boost.
But that's just every 40 seconds.
I was gonna say I will give him that, but you're right. He needs something. He needs some sort of boost. He's trying his hardest to go ahead and finish the Abyssal Scepter.
That's not even Abyssal Scepter,
I don't even know what he's trying to finish right now. I really don't even know what he's trying to do.
Yeah, because he only has one component for the Abyssal Scepter. He's missing the Fiendish Codex.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another current call going on to the Varus. Varus is gonna get. Yep, deleted.
There's the collateral damage just completely destroying the Varus. Most of the damage was by the current call down. I feel like it would have been. What was that?
That is what we call getting destroyed. Morgana being at a little bit over half, just getting deleted within 2 seconds.
I thought Syndra needed to press R to one shots. Apparently she doesn't.
Oh, definitely not when you have that build right there. Chrono Shift is going to go ahead and come out right there as well. Nautilus is going to, or his Thresh is going to get hooked, or he's going to hook. Actually doesn't die in the fountain.
What is it? Ace right there. The only people up right now are going to be Varus and Morgana. They could try and go for more, but with Thresh and Syndra down, it's very risky, and I feel like Nautilus will be going down right here. He won't be able to escape, unless if you can somehow 1v2.
I mean, they're trying their hardest right now. He does dodge the binding. He's actually gonna go ahead and try to go in, try to kill the Varus. He's actually coming really close to killing the Varus, but Varus is gonna say no. Oh, Jin is going with the 4th auto and says bye. You're gonna die, and like I said,
damage crit. That is insane.
The flash is gonna come in. He's trying his hardest. He does get the other kill.
But Kha'Zix is gonna be coming in right now. He was slowed by the trap left over from Morgana's dead body, and he is still chasing though. Will he be able to get anything from this?
563 damage, almost taking half of his health with that empowered 4th.
And that was a full health Kha'Zix too, so the missing HP part of the 4th auto wasn't even applied.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Jin is just devastating right now, as well as, you know, Graves. Graves doing a lot of damage. It's really, right now, I'm going to give it a lot of, you know, praise to this Thresh and this, you know, Nautilus for hooking back and forth. I mean, just everyone on GBG is doing amazing.
Yeah, it is insane to see the skill level of these players right now. They are simply dominating. They are roughly 16k gold ahead at the 25-minute mark. They have 7 towers compared to the 0 taken towers on the side of Macalester. They have every single dragon controlled, and as we saw, around the 13-minute mark is once Graves really started to take control of the enemy jungle, saying that he's going to ward it up, he's going to make it his own. And right now, I don't really see a potential for Macalester to come back, unless if they can get some really good picks, and it looks like instead they're the ones getting
Echo, what are you doing, buddy? You're gonna die right there. The Chrono Shift is having to be used. And looks like actually Bars is gonna go ahead and die. Press R.
Bars and Kha'Zix.
Syndra just deletes Kha'Zix right there. And there's the flash towards Echo. Echo's just deleted as well. There's the other, that's the double right there. Maokai is trying
to is Maokai right now, and he's not even going to be a factor right now in defending these turrets. It is simply going to be game, unless if they chase too long. What are you guys doing? Go end the game.
No, there it is. There's the ace. They're gonna go ahead and try to push. Bot is pushing for them.
No, they're pushing top. Why don't?
Why not go fair? No, that is fair. They could be pushing right now. You also have to see that the timers are not, you know, they can't just go and end. They definitely needed the Graves. They definitely needed the Thresh and everything like that. So what they're doing is the safe route. They're gonna go ahead and grab all these inhibs and just make it so much easier for their next push to win the game.
Especially with all these waves that are set to go around the inhibitors. You can see roughly 2 waves worth of minions at both the top and mid inhibitor, and Thresh has a proto belt. I just realized
that. Is that I was like, wait a moment, is that what I just saw? Thresh has, oh, the beautiful hook from Nautilus, and there he goes once again.
Oh, and we also see the Varus 1v1ing the Graves. He will be losing the moment Syndra joins in.
Oh my god, Jin is actually going to go ahead and take him out, and that's it. That's it. They're now...
This is another clean ace that will be ending the game.
That was it. That was their last attempt at trying to do something in this game. The ace again, and GBG, Gophers, have won today. 27-30, or I'm going to say 27-40. Boom.
Yeah, 27-40 is going to be the time for this first match. 3 dragons, all the towers in the game, roughly a 23k gold difference. That is massive. And
oh my god,
every single lane except for bot lane also had a CS advantage. Look at the farm difference between Graves and Kha'Zix. 73.
It's just unfortunate, just because like we saw earlier, Graves was just going into Kha'Zix's jungle every time he was ganking. Every time they saw Kha'Zix, Graves was like, I'm there. I'm going into his jungle. I'm counter jungling. He's not going to have anything. And that's exactly what that was. As you can see in the different, you know, CS between each other.
Yeah, and just taking a look at some of the damage charts, we can see that even though the 2 AD carries were fairly close to each other whenever they were doing these 1v1s, overall damage was much higher on the side of Jin. and every single lane led in damage except for support. Morgana had more damage, but that's expected in the Morgana Thresh matchup, so can't really count that.
I don't know. Fuck, Thresh had a proto belt. I'm seeing something new now. I'm gonna give my Thresh a proto belt every time I play him now, because that was amazing. That was actually
Thresh
really
main. Please don't do that. It's not worth it. There's so many.
Hey, let them dream. Let them have some fun.
Well, I feel like it was also just because they're ahead and looking for the picks, because proto belt does help for going for picks.
Well, I mean, that's Thresh. He's all about the picks.
Now, the biggest thing that I'm actually really surprised of, despite the large amount of kill participation and damage you saw coming from the Graves, he actually had the second lowest damage on his team. The most damage was still the Jhin. Now, yes, Jhin did have some of the most kill participation throughout the game, but it didn't seem like he was doing that much damage when we were watching. So I'm really surprised to see these numbers.
Oh, no. You also have to remember, because we were talking about how the difference between Varus and Jhin is, a different amount. You also have to remember that Varus was deleted throughout a lot of those first team fights. And Jhin was always there. Jhin was always picking up with those fourth auto attacks, those crits, those dancing grenades, the curtain call and everything like that. So he was doing damage. It didn't look like it, but every time he had the chance, he would curtain call and he would be able to, do the damage right there. For the Graves, I will say this. He does have the lowest, but he was kind of picking up the kills at the end. He would come in when the fight was already midway into it and then do the damage. So that's understandable why he's kind of the second lowest in, the team in general.
That is true. Half the time we only saw the Graves gain collateral damage out there, as well as his Q. I don't remember what his Q is called, but either way, we know what that looks like. And on the topic of this game, for a bit of analysis purpose, what do you think the Macalester team could do going from this point forward to try and make sure they don't have as large a deficit as they did in this game? For me personally, I feel like jungle control is one of the biggest things they needed, because in the early game, we saw that Kha'Zix was doing quite well trying to match up to the Graves, but the moment he lost control of his own jungle, he could not climb back.
I don't really say it was the jungle control. I mean, yes, you want to make sure that you do have control of your jungle, but in the early game, it was all about wards. If you didn't see it, Graves was placing wards near Toucans. He was placing wards near Krugs. He was placing wards like all around in that jungle to see where that Kha'Zix was.
We also saw that with the Kha'Zix as well. Whenever he invaded, he was placing wards inside the jungle as well, especially with that early invade when they traded reds, which I was still really surprised that happened so casually. I expected that they're going to meet up at Graves' red, but for some reason Graves expected. My guess is that the bot lane went in too early, so they knew that there was no leash bot side.
That was exactly it. That was exactly it, is because bot ended up going right into lane and they saw it. So they knew 100% that Kha'Zix was over at his blue buff.
Yeah.
So they knew that that's what it was. Kha'Zix throwing it out there. Kha'Zix just not doing really much of anything just because he didn't have anything to go with. 96 CS in 27 minutes. That was all Graves. Graves was counter jungling and everything, so that was amazing. So yes, I do say that maybe controlling your jungle would be a little bit better. But if you are behind like that, if Graves is in your jungle, go to his. Yes, that's a risky play, and yes, that's a risky thing to say.
It's the best thing you can do in realistic terms. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Another thing you could do, though, is depending on the matchup, because if it's something like, let's say, a Gragas trying to invade your jungle, just kill him. Like, if you're a Kha'Zix or someone else that's very good at dueling, and you find someone in your own jungle, just kill them. You're going to be stronger. You're a Kha'Zix. You're meant to fight people one-on-one and burst them down really fast, especially when you have that skirmish saber early on.
I agree with you, but yet again, that's also very situational, depending on, a lot of very differing factors. But yeah. I do agree, if, you do see someone try to, at least get the kill or try to ping to your team, hey, someone is here, I need them out. But I'm still going to go back to this. You need to be able to ward your jungle better. I will give this 100%. GBG had an amazing ward coverage throughout the entire game. I'm actually going to go ahead and see if wards placed, 12 on the Nautilus, 9 on the Graves, 12, 12, 23, compared to like 31 is the highest for Macalester, and that was their Morgana. Typical, because Morgana had the item. But
yeah,
everyone else, I mean, Varus and Echo, not even double digits. The only person that wasn't double digits was the Graves, and Graves was putting them early. So it was all about that ward coverage, and Gophers did a really good job at that.
All right. Well, that's going to end it for the first game, and we'll be going into the game 2, which is going to be Mankato versus, just let me make sure I have it right here. It's going to be Mankato versus UMD Nova for game number 2 of today. We'll be coming back in just about 5 minutes. Stay tuned until then. For now, just keep the hype up. This first game was very energetic, and I can't wait to see how the next game is going to be. Okay, and we're back for game number 2. We'll be starting up once everyone is ready and situated. It will be Mankato versus the UMD Team Nova. Again, that first game was such a wonderful match to watch. I love seeing the Cossacks. I love seeing the Graves. They both did phenomenal work. Same thing with the Nautilus and Fresh, as you mentioned before, Dreamer. It's just, I'm kind of hoping for different picks this time around. That way we can see something new.
What do you want that be new? Like, to be completely honest, remember we are still in meta, so Nautilus, Maokai, that's gonna be one of those picks, picks or bans. Camille, that's gonna be another kind of pick or ban sort of thing. Been banned this entire time. Kind of like that would be the new one I want to see, is that maybe a Camille get through. But other than that, I'm kind of expecting the same. Maybe not the Graves and maybe not the Cossacks, but everything else is I'm not really expecting anything different.
When I was saying new, I am also referring to just all lanes in general. I want to see a Poppy top because she is still pretty strong.
Yes.
And I also want to see the mage supports bot lane because I want to see how well these players can utilize them to their full advantage. We saw the utility carries come in, but utility carries are best when you have the high damage supports to work with them and synergize.
That's very true, and I will give you that because, I mean, I don't know. Thresh did an amazing job down at the bot lane, just in laning phase in general, being able to land a lot of those hooks, and Jin following up on a lot of them as well. But, I mean, like you said, we'll see what happens. Maybe we can get a Malzahar, thrown in there. Maybe we can get a Zyra. Unfortunately, I don't want to say this. Maybe we can get a Misfortune in there as well, but we'll see.
Yeah. And who knows? We still have yet to also see the Ziggs AD carry that was meta during the pre-stages of Season 7. And I would like to see that come back just because seeing someone who isn't a true AD carry in the bot lane is really exciting and a breath of fresh air.
Did you just say Ziggs? Because I don't. I'm gonna be done. I'm leaving. That's it. No, we don't need a Ziggs. No, I don't want Ziggs down there. Ziggs doesn't belong down there.
Ziggs carry, not Ziggs support.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Ziggs doesn't belong down there as the carry. We don't need him down there. I'm sorry. I don't. Ziggs, I understand the concept, and Ziggs is like great. He's pushing and all that good stuff. But no, an AD carry is an AD carry. Like, the only person that's even allowed to go AP, and that's an AD carry, is like Kog'Maw or Corki, which is fine. But Corki and Kog'Maw's not even here. And Corki is like more mid-oriented now. So keep Ziggs in the mid, and we'll be good. Whew. No, just don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. All right. It looks like we are going to have a little bit of technical difficulties, as you probably can see there. Production has to reset some clients. Oh, okay. Actually, as production, I mean, my co-caster just said, hey, I'm leaving now. So I'm going to be solo casting for this. And by solo cast, I mean, no, we're not doing it.
No, we're not solo casting. The issue right now, my mic got muted.
Joking.
Yeah, my mic got muted. It accidentally messed up. But the issue is that there is a current bug on the client where if you try and spectate more than one game in a row without resetting your client first, you will not be able to load in.
I hate that bug. I think I think there's the same bug that if you try to play a game, like if you started a game or you were a leader of like flex queue or something like that, and then you try to hit play again, it would show that you're just by yourself, but everyone's joining it.
Yeah.
So, spaghetti code, Riot, doing its thing, but
we gotta fix their game.
Hey, they'll fix it eventually.
Yeah, but it won't take too long. The game should still start perfectly on time. We have 5 minutes, and all the players are ready in the lobby. It's just one of them is in the bathroom right now, and the moment they get back, we will be starting up. We just need the casters to return as well.
Hi, I'm still in here. You're the one that has to return.
No. You have to reset your client too.
I do? Oh.
Yes? Yeah, it's a bug that affects everyone. If you try and spectate more than one game in a row, you have to reset.
That's news to me, but okay, I'll reset my client.
Yeah. It's just something that has to get done. It's really stupid.
It's fine. They'll fix it eventually, and we won't have to worry about this ever again.
Yeah.
Has any of these? No, none of these teams have actually played yet. If I remember correctly, one of these teams is actually playing again after this one.
Mankato.
Mankato
team
is going to
currently
be
on the
playing
blue side.
twice.
Yep.
Mankato is playing twice today.
And that is because they are having a bye week during week 2, while St. Olaf got a bye week during week 1, and both those teams are going to be playing twice in the opposing weeks. So Mankato plays twice this week, and St. Olaf plays twice next week. So everything will even itself out in the end. It's just that there were some scheduling issues where they had to get things fixed up.
Got it. Got it. Well, that means that at least with this, we can go ahead and see Mankato actually, we can see what they choose, how they work, and I actually think that it's a really good thing to do just because whenever you play a game, you're just going to be like, play one game and be done. Whoa. Oh, there we go. Sorry. If you're going to play one game and be done, now you get to play this other game, so you're kind of like warmed up and everything as well. So we'll see how that goes for Mankato. I think we're all set and ready to go. I think we're just waiting for the readies from everyone.
Yeah, we're just waiting for everyone to show that they are completely ready. And until then, I'm still expecting Camille to be a 100% pick ban. She is still very powerful, as we mentioned. And I expect, even though I don't want it, I expect we'll still see Nautilus and Maokai popping up, as well as people such as the Jin and Varus. But
right, we are going to go ahead and get into picks and bans right now. Feels Batman. What are you going to ban?
Yeah, I really love that name, to be honest.
All right, Batman. Batman is now banned Hecarim.
Oh.
And, that's an understandable pick. That's an understandable ban. Hecarim, once gets started, he can do a lot of damage, a lot of work. Has not really been played more recently, but it is still a threat on the team. Rise is going to also be the next pick.
Make our choices.
And Karma right
next
after
ban.
that. All right, Rise and Karma. Rise, that's
okay.
a tolerate. Ooh, the
Darius, really? That's interesting. Darius after the nerfs is quite weak, so I'm really curious as to whether or not that is just one of Batman's premier champions.
Batman playing Darius. I like it. And it could be a target ban. Rek'Sai is going to be the last one. Camille has actually went through for pick and ban.
Oh, will she get picked?
And that's it.
Idiot!
There it is.
The immediate lock-in with Camille.
First one being picked is Camille. And obviously Camille is mainly for the jungle, but can go
Scion
somewhere else. Scion is going to be the next pickup right there. Scion either flexing for the top or the jungle, most likely going to the top lane.
There is also Scion support. Do not forget Scion support is actually a very strong client. Scion support is actually a really strong counter to both Malzahar and Zyra for one reason only. He can shout their minions away.
That is true. I forgot that's a thing.
Hey, have you never seen the joy of Scion yelling at a plant and then it gets flung?
Oh, I've seen many things of Scion doing and yelling and flinging away. Yeah. But I digress. Scion, we will see, is going to be flexed around. Syndra is going to be the pickup for the mid lane. So nerf Akali, please, is going to go ahead and pick and mess with that Syndra as well. We are going to see. Looks like
Varus, okay.
Varus, yep, Varus and Echo.
Okay, looks like the Echo versus Syndra matchup seems to be a commonplace one within the MNLCS. We have seen it twice today now, and I believe we also saw it once yesterday. And there is another Kha'Zix login with a... Wait, no. Yep.
I'm so glad. And I'm so happy today.
Jungle option is still open for Mankato, so they could easily pick up a Skarner, like you were saying.
That is a possibility. Yet again, that is a very counter-esque kind of thing. But
I imagine if anything, we'll be saying Rengar, because he is open right now.
Rengar is open as well. I mean, who knows? Maybe Camille's in that jungle. You don't know that.
That could be it too.
Camille could be that jungle. Or Camille, I've seen a lot of people play Camille support. I don't like it, but it's the thing. Jin, however, is going to go ahead and be picked up as well. So we do see the Varus Jin as going on.
Oh, here's that Lulu that were mentioned before.
Yeah, Lulu is getting picked up, or Zach is actually going to be the jungle. So that means that's a Camille top.
Okay. So this is going to be Zach versus Kha'Zix. This one, I believe Kha'Zix wins early on, but the later the game goes, the better Zach is, just because of his pure utility comparative to Kha'Zix. And that is actually pretty nice, because that makes it so that the Mankato squad have a well-rounded team, because they now have a tank, a skirmisher, they have the utility with Varus, and they have the all-in and split push potential with both Camille and Echo.
I don't know. It really depends on the last pick that Nova's going to go ahead and pick up right here. It looks like the Thresh. Oh. So we're going to see another Jhin Thresh bot lane with the Syndra in the mid. Kha'Zix is going to go ahead and jungle, and Sion for the top lane of Nova. And Mankato is going to go ahead and follow up with the Camille, the Zac, Echo, Varus, and Lulu. So they do kind of have, in a way, being with Lulu, kind of protecting, you know, Zac. Or sorry, Echo, Varus, and you know, if Zac goes in there, just ulting Zac as well after his ult goes off, Camille can go ahead and, you know, kind of push away everyone. Say Syndra, Jhin, Kha'Zix, even you're gonna be my target. So I like Mankato's comp, but I feel like Nova is gonna do a lot of engaging and a lot more damage early, and that could actually hurt Mankato a lot.
Yeah, that is very true. And another thing that I would like to point out and talk about is how there's nothing really to stop the peel of Lulu on the side of Nova, just because if someone tries to dive in, they can easily get polymorphed, or they can also be the wild growth from Lulu, just keeping anyone alive.
That's very true.
I'm not sure how they're going to really deal with that, aside from possibly trying to use a combination of Kha'Zix and Syndra to simply burn through that amount of peel. But if there's something like a Locket or a Redemption picked up by this Lulu, I don't see how they can really get through that.
I mean, how it's going to happen is Sion, Thresh are going to have to really go in and be that front line. So while Lulu is kind of distracted with those two, Kha'Zix is going to go back and kill someone, you know, unexpected, or even kill Lulu himself. So that's the only really way I can see the team fight just going on. But I mean, Syndra hurts. Syndra's just press R to win, can do damage. Jhin getting started early could do damage. Kha'Zix, if he gets those kills early, can do damage. So it's not like they don't have the damage to, start a team fight or even end a team fight. It really depends on how the initiation goes.
Yeah, and one of the big things to keep an eye on is, as you mentioned, since if anyone on the side of Nova gets ahead, it's going to be a huge threat. We have to pay attention to the early game then and see whether or not Nova is able to snowball their way into a victory, or if they can play some other way and potentially go for mid-game picks, because I feel like a full 5-on-5 team fight is going to be in the favor of Mankato.
I am going to agree with you on that if it is a 5v5 team fight, just because, yet again, Zac and Lulu doing a lot of peeling and a lot of damage.
As well as the Echo parallel convergence. You have to remember that is so
Echo
impactful.
Echo is another huge factor in there. And Camille, being able to single out anyone, pushing away the team, and just doing that damage as well. And
not only that, but I've also seen people with Camille jump onto someone, but have it where the part of the Hextech ultimatum that pushes everyone else back, being able to launch someone towards your team.
Yep.
So say Jhin is sitting in the middle of his team, she could jump on whoever's in the far back and then push Jhin forward.
Yep, it's like a John ult, except more death.
Yeah, a lot more death. It's a Camille. You kind of kill whoever you're with. Well, it's also kind of like, it's also a bit like a Xin Zhao ult, because it singles someone out and pushes everyone else back, but it's a lot easier for Camille to reach that backline compared to a Xin Zhao. And we will be loading up into this game in just about 10 seconds. Overall, I think we can both agree that 5-on-5, it's going to be Mankato that wins. But with raw power in terms of the picks, I feel like it's slightly on the side of Nova. And that is become slightly biased towards Kha'Zix and Syndra. They are just so powerful in trying to go for the back line.
That's just how it's gonna have to be. But the best possible way for Nova to start their snowballing is that Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix is gonna have to try to get that Zac, you know, in his jungle, being able to kill him right away, or just get any of the lanes, you know, top lane with that Camille getting some damage. Sorry, not the killing Camille, or getting that Sion started, Syndra getting started, Jhin getting started. You know, it's really right now based around Kha'Zix.
Yeah, that is very true. Kha'Zix is going to be the huge factor within this team composition of Nova, and I feel like Zac is going to be an equal piece of power for Mankato, just because he needs to be able to counter the ganks of Kha'Zix.
All right. Well, we are about to load into the Rift, and as I say that, we're loaded into the Rift. That's perfect.
Yeah, and actually, I am a little surprised to see that Camille wins Fervor of Battle. Huh. I figured Camille would either want something such as Courage of the Colossus, so that when she goes all in with the Hex-like ultimatum, that she'll be far safer, or something along the lines of a not Bonus, so Grasp of the Undying for lane trading.
I guess I understand the Grasp of the Undying, and I do agree with that pick. However, hold on, it does.
Oh.
Maybe?
They may be going for a 5-man invade. There are no wards in that river to spot them.
Yeah,
they do have a Thresh.
They do have the Thresh. They do have
nothing leveled yet in terms of abilities, and they are spotted, so they will have to back away.
That was a very smart position to be where Lulu was, is that we're going to be able to see the invade if it does happen, instead of actually pushing out to the line of scrimmage like normally all teams do. So Lulu's positioning was really well. They did like ward around to see if they would continue their push, but it does look like they're just gonna stay and, you know, hang around, helping the blue buff for the Kha'Zix, and just go on from there.
Now, the one thing I wish that Nova would have done, instead of placing a ward at the tip of the red buff, if they placed it inside, in order to make sure they can see whether or not that's where Zac's starting, because by seeing the Lulu where she was, they're probably going to assume that's where Zac is starting. But now he's starting blue buff because he knew that he had to swap. So that's actually very smart by Mankato. And I'm wondering how Nova is going to try and play around this.
I don't know, because you're saying that they're going to probably see, but you also see that both Varus and Lulu are already in lane.
No, they're hiding the brush.
They're hiding in the bush, so they are waiting, but they've now shown themselves. And just coming out of a bush, they know. They know that, you know, he's...
and there was the pain by Nova over towards where the blue buff was. They did get the hint that Zac started over there.
Exactly.
Okay. It seems like not many teams know how to correctly bait out, being able to show who started where. And right now, it looks like Camille is already going in for some decent aggression, half-healthing Sion.
Oh, that was a lot of damage right there, and especially with Camille's passive being able to say, "Hey, you do attack damage." But actually,
Sion with the level 2 going all in.
That's a lot of damage going onto the Camille right now. He's already level 2. He's gonna try his hardest to go ahead and get. Oh, I don't see it anymore. I'm sorry. It switched on me. It actually looks like the Varus is actually getting bullied out as well. Oh my god, Lulu's actually taking a lot of damage as well. And that was a really decent trade for the bot lane. And it does look like Camille did get away with a sliver of her life left. But she is still level 1. Exactly, she's still level 1.
And she wants to make sure she doesn't have it too huge. Yep, she is going to have to teleport. Which means that there's now a teleport advantage over for Nova. I wonder if they can utilize this, because it's still a 1-for-1 teleport, since Echo in the mid lane still has it. And it looks like the Kha'Zix is hovering towards the mid lane, potentially looking for a gank to try and burn Echo's flash or teleport as well, although he is hovering right in the middle.
He's probably getting, he was getting scuttled. That's what he was doing for sure.
And it looks like he's coming mid for a gank now, though. He's going around where there is no ward.
Ooh, that's a lot of damage going on to the Echo. The flash, 2 flashes, and the ignite. And the auto attack to finish off Echo. First blood is going over to Nova.
Woo! That was a very... it wasn't super clean, but it was a very well executed gank. There was the ignite and double flash from Nova. However, they got so much of that. They are now burning the teleport so that there is a full teleport advantage for Nova, and Sion is taking a lot of damage from Camille right now.
Oh, if there wasn't a tower, Sion would be a dead man right now.
Yeah, I mean, In a way, if Zach was up there, the tower could have been ignored with a full dive. However, Zach was in the bot lane trying to get all of the jungle camps he can. Right now, you can see that everything is completely gone, and he is just now backing with far more farm than this Kha'Zix, having 15 up on him.
I don't know, like, even with the farm, Camille actually, doing a lot of damage right there to the Sion. Sion's gonna have to probably back up a little bit and get some, you know, some more pots and everything like that, or at least charges back up. But I don't, even though Kha'Zix is down a good amount of CS, he did end up getting a lot of gold for that Syndra, and Syndra is a very scary person starting up too.
Oh, we actually can see Zach in the bot lane. There are no wards, so he's going for the gank. He is Thresh. All
right, he does hit Thresh. They're actually going to go ahead and go onto the Jhin, but the Thresh Express says no.
Yeah, and we can see some more action in the top lane already. Camille's getting heavily ganked, and
there's a right here. Right there. There's the flash going onto Camille. Camille is going to try to get her life, and she is going to go ahead and hook shot out of there. But that is a flash for top, so that's easily another gank opportunity.
And already,
oh my God, Lulu taking so much damage. If the stun or the snare did go off, Lulu probably would have had to flash as well.
Yeah, and there also would have been the heal burned by the Varus, most likely, and it looks like they're going to use this advantage with the pressure in the lane in order to get some warding down. Not too sure if they're going to be able to get a whole lot of information out of this, since they already knew that Zach was just boss and probably had to back from that failed gank. And now Kha'Zix is trying to invade, getting caught out by Camille. Echo's getting caught out by Syndra. Not too much is going to happen after that, though.
Oh, there goes another fight again going down, and looks like there's a heal. Oh, Thresh is actually going down. Thresh is actually going to die right there, and the exhaust goes on, but the auto attack from Jhin. Jhin hurts so much. He's actually going to go ahead and try his hardest. He's going to go ahead and flash, and does end up grabbing the snare. He doesn't go back in, though, which is smart, because Lulu, with that Pix, could do a lot of damage.
I feel like she could have easily just flashed on top of him and thrown Pix onto him to kill.
It was an opportunity, but it wasn't because the cooldowns. You do have to remember
it was on cooldown. I didn't notice that.
Yes, it was on cooldown.
Alright, and as of right now, just looking over at the all-round item pickup, since we are in a little bit of a calm zone right now, we can see that Sion is a bit ahead right now. He has the Bombing Cinder. He's going to have more wave clear than this Camille, so he should have lane pressure all around and should have enough tankiness to survive the Camille until she finishes the Phage. Meanwhile, for the mid lane, still going for a trade in the top lane, and she is definitely losing it.
I don't know if that was a real loss. He did have to pop a pot, so I will give him that. But, I mean, he did end up getting all the CS. So I don't know if that was a real loss for Camille. Or for Sion, sorry.
Was just to deter her from wanting to stay in that trade. To try and keep it from lasting too long, because you have to remember she does have the fervor of battle, so that means the longer the trade, the worse it is for this Sion. So he's trying to make the trades as short as possible.
That's very true, and that is a good point to go with right there. Zach is at the bot lane right now.
He's not seen by any wards either.
He's not being seen by any wards, but Lulu is kind of like hovering around, so they're really scared. Nova's really scared. They're like kind of wondering what's going on. They do see them again, and it's nothing's really going on right now.
Yeah, and there is also a current ward from Nova onto the blue buff of Mankato, so they know that no one is near there. As far as they know, both Echo and Zach are missing, and it looks like Zach is finally going in for this gank. No, he is backing off. Okay.
No, he is backing off. He wasn't able to do much with that possible gank. And yet again, it looks like the top lane, Camille and Sion. Actually, Sion's actually going to go ahead. And that was an amazing ult from Camille. Actually missing, or dodging the Sion ultimate with her ultimate.
There is a half-second vulnerability frame on Hextech Ultimatum. She was able to utilize that perfectly, and now Echo's in the top lane.
And goodbye.
That is going to be a dead Sion. Kha'Zix is right here to try and make sure that top lane doesn't get shoved into the corner break right onto Kha'Zix.
Yeah, Echo actually ended up using his convergence or his sheep.
Oh, but look at the bot lane.
Yeah, bot lane is actually going to go ahead and so close to being dead. Nope, curtain calls coming in. Juicy 1, 2, 3, 4, and there goes Lulu.
That is quite an impressive amount of damage coming in from the Jhin. Right now, though, there is not much they can get from it. There is a Syndra down here. She may just go for the ult right onto Varus while he is under turrets. I feel like they're going to just let Jhin push in real hard. No, never mind. Syndra's backing off.
She did get seen by a ward, so they will go ahead and back off of it. It looks like they're going to go ahead and try. Yes, they are going to go ahead and try and get this Ocean Drake, and that's going to be a perfect, a perfect Ocean Drake. That's really good, especially with these mana-heavy people like Syndra and like Kha'Zix.
Oh, and Camille gets the teleport off though, so right now she is stuck here with Sion pushing solo in the top lane. Will he follow up?
Oh, it doesn't even matter because Vars is actually going to die, but Thresh is going to be the counter for that as well. And Lulu's here, and they're going to try to go for this. Oh, yep, there goes the flash and the hook shot, and oh, Lulu got it with the polymorph. Unfortunate.
See, here's the thing though, that was a teleport and a dead Varus for 2 kills. However, they still lost the dragon, so I feel like that wasn't too worth for Mankato. Yes, it's nice that they get pressure in this bot lane turret, but I would have rather seen it where they actually were able to get the dragon, because then it would have been much more of a favorable trade.
You're absolutely right. It does look like they're, the 3 of them are actually going to go ahead and try to see if they can take this turret as best as they can. Jhin and Thresh are coming around, and while Silent is slowly pushing by himself.
They should be able to get this bot turret first.
Yes, they are going to go ahead and grab this bot turret.
Oh, and they're letting Camille get all the solo gold. So that's going to be around 650 gold added to Camille's purse, which is going to put her quite ahead of this Sion now.
Oh, definitely ahead of the Sion, but Sion is trying his hardest to go ahead and grab this tower. And there he goes. Sion, yep, Sion does end up getting the tower.
Oh, he also got Varus. He's trying to go
onto the Varus. He's trying to get the ult. He does end up landing the Q, but can't really do much with that.
Yeah, and he is far too tanky for this Varus to really deal with either, so they can't kill one another. And it looks like they're going to let Camille stay in the bot lane, while the Varus and Lulu rotate over towards top lane to just simply catch the waves and make sure they can scale up quite nicely and prevent this Sion from getting too tanky, since they can easily zone him off of the wave. However, I feel like this is also going to be deterring Camille's scaling potential.
Oh, Echo is coming in right now. He is going to go ahead and land his Chrono Shift. Syndra is going down so quick.
Oh, that's the ultimatum.
Jhin is just going in, just went in and just died. There was nothing going on there. I think he was trying to save the Kha'Zix, and Kha'Zix does end up living. Echo is coming around. He is going to go ahead and land his... Nope, the flash goes off right there. So Thresh will live to see another day.
And this entire time, we still just have the Varus Lulu pushing in the top lane. That was a outnumbered loss for Nova.
Oh, that's so close. And the one auto attack is going to go ahead and finish off the Sion. And that was, I was going to say almost a solo kill, but Lulu did end up landing the Glitter Lance to slow Sion for that last auto attack to happen.
Yeah, however, we do see that there are 3 in the top lane, and it's not nearly low enough for them to take it down in time, especially with only 2 more caster minions left. So there will be Nova showing up for defense, and Echo, without the Chrono Break, is still trying to go on to the Syndra, who has ultimate and Ignite.
And that was so much damage going on to Syndra popping the ultimate, but can't really do much with that. I don't think the trade was favorable for Syndra, but Echo, you know, he did end up taking a lot of damage as well, so can't really do much as with that low amount of mana.
Having picked up the Negatron Cloak really helped him out in that trade, making it so that he can just survive the Syndra ultimate that much easier. And we saw its effectiveness right in that trade, and now we can see that Camille is roaming over to the mid lane, not looking for a dive, just looking to see if she can try and go for something. She's kind of sitting right between mid and bot to stay ready for a pick.
Alright, we do see that Varus didn't end up getting a Youmuu's Ghostblade for his first item. He did end up picking the tier as well, so he is going to go for that more pokey kind of comp, as well as Jhin picking up a Youmuu's Ghostblade for himself as well.
Which I feel like right now, with the way the game is that is much more favorable for when you're ahead as Varus. Going for more of the poke build is better, rather than going for that late game, because the late game you only really want for insurance if you're slightly behind. And having the poke for this composition that they have the Camille and the Echo for the all-in. They don't need Varus to join in for that. They can have a Varus can poke before an all-in. That way it'll be much easier when they go for the full team fight. And there's a teleport by Sion.
Ooh, Sion is going to go ahead and actually continue the teleport. Oh, Kha'Zix using his ultimate to try to get as close as he can to the Zac, but Zac is just going to go ahead and elastic slingshot out of there.
Problem is that now Camille is just solo pushing this bot lane, going towards the inner turrets. Yes, there are 4 in this top lane, but there is no one to answer Camille.
Yep, and it looks like Sion is actually going to go ahead and try to go back right now.
He's probably going to end up having to use his ultimate in order to get back to the tower in time, and he gets stopped!
Yep, that was a very smart play right there. He was on top of a ward, so he should have known. Oh, Kha'Zix is actually going ahead and picking on the Echo. Oh, I didn't get it. It switched cameras on me. I love how direct the camera does that to me.
They end up backing off. That's all that happened.
Yeah, it's the blue buff.
You can see already that this inner tower is already about half health, and yes, the Sion is ulting in to try and defend. There is also going to be the Kha'Zix and Sidra coming in to defend as well. This could be a 3-on-1 against the Camille.
Oh, there goes the ultimate for the Zac as well as the Varus ultimate. It looks like he is going to go ahead and go down. Varus does end up getting the kill, while Camille actually fought a little bit, but end up getting away as well. Echo is in them. She did end up flashing, you're absolutely right. And Echo is just going to go ahead and do a little bit of damage. Ooh, actually getting hit on. Oh, Flash is actually the Q. And she has to flash as well. He does take 1 tower shot, but it's not obviously not enough.
He still has the chrono break, though.
Oh, Kha'Zix. Oh, the chrono break. There you go. Like he said, is being pushed out.
Oh, there's a stun.
There it is. 1 kill. And there we go. Kha'Zix is going to go ahead and pick up that kill. 1
and
2,
leave these bullets.
Nothing, and 4, not really doing much.
And we can see though that the Sion and Kha'Zix are dueling this dragon right now, trying to pick it up, and that will be 1 Ocean Dragon, 2 Ocean Dragons actually going for Nova. And as you mentioned earlier, these Ocean Dragons are very valuable onto the Syndra, who is quite mana hungry. And you have to remember, right now, Jhin is also quite mana hungry too. He has yet to pick up any items, and nor is he at the current level to really be able to spam the abilities as much as he would want.
Well, that's the beautiful part about taking those double Ocean Drakes, is that now he can kind of just do whatever he wants with his spells and abilities. So we will see how that goes, especially with that Sion. You also have to remember that does help out with the health regen, and Sion is that tanky dude that will need that health regen, especially against the Camille, the Echo, and even the Varus, with how you're going to be able to cut down the health from his E.
Well, another thing to remember also is that the health regen for Ocean Drake only works out of champion combat. So if you're farming minions, you still get it, but the moment a champion hits you, that regen is cut off. And also, Sion doesn't really have that many problems with health regen, because he has the highest natural base health regen in the game, I believe.
Natural was the keyword in that. I was going to say, oh, actually, let me go ahead and stop. The slingshot is going to go ahead and go into the Syndra. Thresh is going to go ahead and bring him out, but the teleport is coming in onto the... Oh, that was the Camille, I'm sorry. And Camille's actually taking a lot of damage, almost actually dying right there. Camille will go ahead... Nope, and it actually does end up dying to the Jhin. Jhin is going to go down to the Echo. And, oh, that's a double kill. Echo's going to have to use his ultimate. Sion is now there, trying to do as much damage as he can to Zac, but Zac hasn't died at all. Thresh is actually going to go down to the Echo. The quadra kill! He's going to be able to get the pentakill. We'll see, have to see what happens. 1 auto. No! And this actually...
The Cinder Hulk!
The penta! It denies the penta!
The Cinder Hulk killed him! You can see that Zac was just standing there trying to give it over, but the Cinder Hulk took it. Oh, and he has the BM Mastery 7 too.
Can I get a scumbag Zac in the chat, please? Oh my god, I know he was trying his hardest to give it to the Echo, but unfortunately his item said no.
Hey, if he was truly trying, he should have known that Cinder Hulk was there and he could have flashed away.
Scumbag Zac.
Yeah, especially because we were only waiting for the return on the Q to do that last bit of damage. Because the Echo Q was out.
Super unfortunate, but oh my god, that was an amazing ace for... for the blue side right there, being able to get 4 kills onto that Echo. 6-2-2 now. He's going to be able to finish that Abyssal Scepter very, very soon. I'm pretty sure right after he goes back, there it is, the Abyssal Scepter.
And he also picked up the Sheen. So now, if he decides to split push and try and pressure these towers, he will be doing immense amounts of damage. We can also see the Sheen has been picked up by Camille as well. So she will be doing good damage to these towers too, which right now she is completely unmet. However, she is backing because she doesn't want to take any chances.
Oh, ooh, hey, Lulu! Oh, that's actually going to have to pop the ultimate. 2 ultimates actually went down right there for the red side and not really doing much, but, you know, Lulu will live to see another day.
And that was also a heal burned by Varus, trying to just make sure she stayed alive.
Well, I don't think the heal was definitely necessary. Ooh, no, Echo was actually... Echo is actually trying to go ahead and try to 1v2 with the Cosmic right now. Oh! And bye, Varus. He is out of here.
Okay, so as we mentioned last game, usually Syndra can kill someone by just pressing R, and we saw that.
Press R to win.
Yeah, it's kind of like Kha'Zix, or Karthus. If you remember back in the good old days when Karthus used to just press R from base and get a pentakill.
I mean, that's all I did. I took apart all my keyboard just and had the R. That's all I did.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can guess you can probably do that same thing with Syndra nowadays. Granted, it's much easier when you have the 7 balls, and Sion trying to get this Lulu out.
Oh, Camille's actually gonna go ahead and go onto the Jhin. Is he actually gonna be able to live? No, because the Hulk is actually gonna bring her back, and that's a 4-man stun from the Echo. Echo's getting the double kill right away. Is actually gonna. Oh no, that's not. The Lulu's gonna get the Sion kill as well. And wow, the 4-man stun from the Echo and obliterated the red side right then and there.
Gigabytes has been astounding on this Echo. We saw the quadra kill and then the double kill with a 4-man stun. For a second, I thought he was about to get another quadra kill situation. Oh, that
was very nice
by Thresh.
Very nice play from the Thresh. It was beautiful. And he knew what was going to happen, but it's still not going to save that bot tower from Echo.
The thing I'm wondering though is that even if that the elastic slingshot landed, what would they have really done? Because Varus didn't have his ultimate, it's still at about 3 seconds left on the cooldown, and there's not much I can do that deep beyond the towers. At most, you just get a little poke and try and zone them, but I really don't see what the point of that was.
Ooh, that was a very good polymorph, and he used the almost Ghost Blade, but he is going to go ahead and poke down the Syndra. Syndra's going down really, really low, and is actually have to get out of there for herself. But no, I do agree with you. It would depend on exactly what they'd be able to do. But I mean, you also have to remember, even though Varus is a poking champion, his auto attacks will still do a bit of damage.
That is true. And he does have another penetration item being built up. My guess is it is going to be a Edge of Night. As you can see, the pickaxe and the serrated dirk, it is going to be building in towards that Edge of Night. I don't believe there's anything else that could really be built towards with that style. And Camille going one-on-one against the Kha'Zix.
Goodbye. Oh wait, Kha'Zix is actually getting saved by his teammates! And oh my god, Kha'Zix lives to see another day. And that was so beautiful. I was actually surprised. I think Camille kind of backed off thinking that she was going to get Kha'Zix with that last auto attack.
I feel like she also knew that the teammates were coming, so she wanted to be in the position to get away. And Sion trying to land the Decimate, but just barely missing, and it looks like they're going for a hook right now on Lulu!
Oh, but here comes another oh, this is a 2-man stun. Echo is doing so much damage right now. He's gonna have to critical shift out of there. He is actually gonna he's coming close. He does dive to the Jhin. Zac is gonna go ahead and ultimate as well. Sion is by himself. Actually, oh, Kha'Zix is going in right now, has a flash over, gets him with the Q, and Zac is out of there. And that was 3 for nothing.
No, well, technically 4 because it was
4 because Camille did end up dying a little bit before that, but they will end up getting the mid tower.
But here's the thing you have to remember: Nova just used every single flash they have, and they still didn't take Zac down. If they don't burn this Baron down fast enough, there could be potential for a steal.
There is a possibility that they're gonna be able to burn the Baron down. It is just a Camille, but Camille does, you know, she does have an ultimate. Oh, she does have an ultimate coming up very soon, and it is an isolated person. Oh, there is the teleport coming in. Oh, that was very close. He's gonna actually go in. Zac is in. Oh, sorry, Zac's not in there.
Nova gets it.
No, but Kha'Zix still gets the teleport. Or sorry, Kha'Zix still gets the Baron call or Baron steal, or actually even just Baron in general. But it does end up Syndra is still the only one left. And she's trying to actually kill him, but the Chrono Shift back is gonna save the Echo. And it is, Camille does end up going down, but that is an ace for the blue side.
1 for 5 in total. And Baron is not on a single living champion right now because Nova did pick it up. However, they did get the ace, and this should be an inhibitor going down. There is the Jhin and Thresh up. However, I don't think the defending time against 4 members.
Oh wow, that was very intense right now. The curtain call is coming in. 1, 2, 3, 4. He does end up hitting 4. Zach is going to be the target, looks like. Camila is going to go ahead and teleport in as well, and it does look like the inhibitor is going to go ahead and still be up for just a little longer.
Yeah, and the one thing you have to remember with Mankato is that every single laner they have has the potential to really do some damage to these towers. They have a Trinity Force, a Lich Bane, and a Varus. All of them are going to be melting these towers so fast.
That's exactly it. They have... It's beautiful, and we're going to go ahead and see how that works and what's going to happen next. But right now, it's going to look like it's going to, you know, they're going to get buffs. Everyone's backing and buying, and we will see what happens next. That is an exposed inhibitor in the top lane, but both Echo and Camille's teleports are down, so I don't expect a split pushing happening from either one of those just yet.
And just taking a look at some of the gold difference, even though there is a 7 kill separation and a 4 tower separation, it's actually only 5,000 gold between these two teams, and most of that gold is on the Echo with a 3,000 difference between him and Syndra. So you really have to rely on this Echo to carry during these team fights because everyone else is technically on equal terms.
Well, you have to think about it like this, is Echo's been getting some beautiful stuns and beautiful kills as well. I mean, yes, the quadra kill was able to, you know, scale him up really hard, but his parallel convergences have been just godlike. Being able to get the 4-man stun, the 3-man stun, yes, 2-man stuns here and there, but 2-man on the Syndra and on the Jhin, like, it really is Echo that's doing a lot of work here. And I feel like Red Team is gonna have to try their hardest to kill that Echo and do something like about him. They have to pop his ult. They have to just get him, you know, just done, just dead and done.
Yeah, and they do get the pick onto Lulu. Will be trying to ult in. The bot growth is gone.
Oh, Lulu is gonna go and just disappear right there. Zach is gonna go ahead and ultimate. He's gonna go and get out of there. Varus' ult, excuse me, was used in the process to try to get everyone out, but Lulu does end up dying as well, and they do see Echo in the jungle. They're kind of seeing where he's gonna go. And Camille is actually going to go ahead and fight Sion right now. And doing so much damage, and Sion's got nothing. The ultimate going on to Sion. Camille's got to say, no, I'm going to get out of there. Because the rest of the team's coming up. And Echo's trying to get on this, try to flank from the left side to see if he can do anything right there.
Yeah, I feel like trying to put the Hextech Ultimatum onto Sion right now is not the best choice because he is near 3 completed items, while Camille's still only at 2. Frankly...
It's not even that. He popped his pot, and he's almost back at full health. He's practically back at full health because of those 2 Ocean Drakes that just was, you know, being used when he was just farming right now. On
top of the Spirit Visage giving 20% extra healing on top of the Ocean Drakes.
Exactly. So I do agree that the ultimate on Camille should probably not have been used, but she was really thinking that she can get a kill onto that Sion, but unfortunately could not.
Yeah, she will have to wait until she can have a lot more penetration to get through all of this armor, because he has a Ninja Tabi and a Sunfire Cape, which Camille, most of her damage is revolving around her auto attacks, and Ninja Tabi reduces that by 12%, so she has to recognize that.
Oh, there's Camille actually getting stuck onto... Oh no, that she just didn't pop it over. It looks like they are going to go for the Jhin. Jhin is going to have to flash. Camille's flashing right after him. Syndra actually gets caught by the Varus, and Varus is going to go ahead and pick up this kill on Syndra.
Ooh, Camille's in the enemy base, though. She can meet up with Echo for safety.
Oh, definitely. Actually, the flash, and there goes Camille. And they're going to have to go up to the top lane right now. Like you said, Echo is just hammering down at this, and he will get the inhibitor. He still does have his ultimate right now. He does, oh my god, so much damage! And Sion's gonna come in. The ultimate from the cage is gonna do a little bit to slow him down, but not really do much. Parallel convergence is gonna be put down right there, and nothing is gonna happen right after that. But they do get the top inhibitor for their troubles, and almost another kill with the Kha'Zix.
I'm really wondering why that wild growth just happened. you have any idea?
Probably just as a protection. Echo is very low on mana right now, so anything could happen. Kha'Zix, Scion, and Thresh do have the CC potential and all that to do work, but Infernal is up, and that is a very scary thing for them to have right now.
Especially Syndra and Jhin. They are some of the two best champions at utilizing Infernal Dragon, so if they let them take it, that is potentially going to let Nova come back into this game.
Alright, well, they're going to have to try to pull this out right now so that they can, you know, they're not going to get dove on. They are in the
junglers are equal level, so the smite is same damage.
Oh, Syndra actually ends up getting the finishing damage onto the Infernal, and like you said, Syndra and Jhin now have that Infernal. Scion now has a little bit of damage, and Kha'Zix as well.
Oh.
That's a lot going towards the side of the...
And as of right now, Jhin only needs 200 gold until he'll be able to pick up the Infinity Edge, which we both saw how much damage Jhin was doing last game with those 4-shot crits. And imagine now, with the Infernal Dragon, with the Edge of Night, with the Youmu's, just how much damage he's going to be doing once he can complete this item.
Oh, it's definitely a worry for the blue side right now. They're gonna have to focus the Jhin, and that's what they've been doing. Camille has been always going onto that Jhin, and I mean right there, that 4th auto, 1587 as a crit. Jesus, that could practically have held, I'm pretty sure, like the Lulu.
Well, you have to remember though that the red buff has negative armor, so everyone's gonna do really strong damage against it with auto attacks.
That's true, but I digress. It's still gonna be a lot of damage going on, or coming from that Jhin on those 4th autos.
Yeah, and I want to look at right now, the Echo, as you mentioned before, is kind of the main carry of the team at the moment, so he has a lot of magic damage, but every single person on the side of Nova right now has built magic resist. There is the Hexdrinker on Kha'Zix, the Spirit Visage and Banshees. Never mind, Baron is going to be going, so we'll see whether or not there is a steal attempt here. And Syndra's being picked out.
Syndra's actually going to go ahead and get ulted on and just destroyed. It's elated. And that's a 4v5 now, and actually is going to go in and actually sees a lot of damage. The auto, or yeah, Camille's going to actually go ahead and die right there, but they're still doing Baron. They're going to get this Baron right now, and that's all they can do. And it looks like Echo's going to be the next victim right there. The Hourglass is going to be put on 4, 5. Varus is actually went down really quick. Thresh is going down as well. The teleport from Scion coming in. He will go ahead and land the Q right there. And that Varus is going to be the victim. He actually is going to go ahead and flash away. Zac finally getting his passive popped right there. Kha'Zix is doing so much damage. He's trying to get out, but Echo is going to go ahead and get out of all that damage with his ultimate right there. And
Baroned up 2 minion waves right at this tower. There's going to be an inhibitor as well. And the only people that are up are Syndra to defend, because Kha'Zix and Scion have to go back, and Scion is still just defending the turrets from these super minions.
Yeah, it is look like that. Scion is going to take a lot of damage right there. Syndra has to do something, but, you know, Echo doesn't have his ultimate, so they can burst him down real quick.
No one has their ultimate at all.
Yeah, Lulu's ultimate actually is coming up right now. The Wild Growth is actually up, so if someone does end up getting burst down by the Syndra, the Wild Growth will be popped onto them, but they are going to go ahead and back out. They did get the inhib from the mid lane. They're going to go ahead, back, buy, and probably push for the win.
Yeah, and one thing, speaking of the Lulu, she also has Locket and Redemption at this point, which is going to be a massive amount of heal from this Syndra and Kha'Zix. So, as we mentioned, the moment that she gets those items, she will be able to protect basically anyone on her team, which we have seen. It is very hard for Nova to kill the people on Mankato. Early game, they were doing fine, but now that they have really picked up their items, they have the resistances that they need, it's not really looking good for the side of Nova. The best thing I could see them go for right now is going to be picks.
Here we go again. There's another. Oh, it actually brings them over to the other side where the enemy team is at. The curtain call is going to be popped over. There's 1, there's 2, but he's actually going to stop because Echo's Parallel Convergence is going to go ahead and hit, and Echo does a lot of damage. The Edge of Night being popped just in case Echo does end up going onto them. And wow, Camille almost sealed her own fate there.
There's also a stacking minion wave at the top inhibitor, which just respawned with all the minions there. It may go down. It looks like Jhin and Kha'Zix are going to have to defend it, but that leaves the bottom turret open, and they still have Baron pushing against this. Will they get the tower, or can Nova defend against this?
Well, Camille is up by herself over there. She actually is isolating herself, which is really weird. Doing a lot of damage right there. Oh, Camille is actually going to probably die. There's the jump. There's the dancing grenade. There's the double flashes for Camille. And there she goes. They are now going to go rotate back to the bot lane, but bot lane looks like it's going to be taken. Ow! Echo doing so much damage with that empowered auto attack. And Zach is going to go ahead and finish off the turret. And Echo by himself, he does have his ult. The Sion's going to go ahead, ult right there. Echo is getting caught right there. The Zhonya's and the Zach is going to go ahead. Oh, and actually Kha'Zix is going in on the bars, but Bars is actually going to go ahead and kill him. There's so much damage going on there. Echo's still alive. Everyone on the side of Noah is going down really fast. And actually, Zach ends up missing the Sion, but Sion, it doesn't look like he's going to stay for much longer. And actually, Sion is going to go ahead and try his hardest to get one more kill for his team. But it doesn't look like that.
I don't think that Mankato can end right here. They could get both inhibitors.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they can end 100%.
I don't think so because the current call is about to be up and they still have a lot down for themselves. They only have exhaust in terms of summoner spells and the flash onto the Zac. At most, they will have to back out.
Alright, well that is one turret that is down for Nova, and that's all 3 inhibitors down as well.
Yeah, this is a very intense game. As we can see, they are going for these 5v5 fights, which we mentioned that Mankato was going to win from the start if it's a full 5v5. And whenever Nova is able to go for these picks, they have been winning. So they have to continue this strategy if they want to try and climb their way back. However, they'll be having 2 super minions per wave in every single lane now. So they have to do something different from what they're currently doing.
I don't know. The winning comp right now is they have to get rid of Camille. They have to get rid of Echo. They have to get rid of those carries. But the thing is, Camille just does so much damage and is able to, you know, get everyone away from whoever target she's going for. And it does look like Magneto is going to go ahead and try to get this Elder with no contest at all.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, they need to get rid of the Echo. He is honestly the biggest threat right now, and they're building plenty of magic resist in order to try and defend against him. But it's still not enough, because while they're building against the Echo, there is still the Camille and the Varus doing plenty of damage. And it's really difficult for Nova to try and itemize against this composition that Mankato has built up. Whether or not Nova is just going to have to make sure to ban Camille in the next set of games, or whether or not they'll have to try and just simply go with a different playstyle altogether, we will wait to see. For now, we just have to see how this game will end. There's only 1 turret left standing. It is at roughly 3/4 health, and the minions are pouring in with 1 inhibitor just respawning.
And that inhibitor is not going to stay up. That inhibitor is already down. And that's 1 tower left right now. Kha'Zix is kind of like right next to Zach. I don't know what he was trying to do there. Maybe do a little bit of solo damage, but he wasn't really able to do much because Zach is just this tanky person. Sion is actually going in onto, it looks like the Varus, and Camille's going to go ahead, get the Zach, or get the Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix is going to go ahead and bring them all over to their team. Zach is going to go ahead and actually push everyone away as well. Camille is going to go ahead and get that kill. It does look like the tower is going to go down.
This is going to be game.
As well, and Cinder is going to go ahead and die to the Echo, and that looks like a game.
That is going to be game number 2, going over to Mankato. End up being a 13k gold lead in the end, having, again, every single tower, every single inhibitor go down. From what we mentioned from the start, they had the full 5-on-5 teamfight advantage just by composition alone, and Nova wasn't able to get the early lead that they needed in order to secure themselves a victory. What do you think could have been done differently?
Oh, it was like you said, they needed to secure their early victories very, very soon. Like getting it onto the Syndra, getting it onto the Kha'Zix, or even the Jhin. And they tried it. They did give it a try, but it just didn't work out in the end because Camille. I want to give it to Camille, and I want to give it to Echo. Echo, 14, 3, and 6. Zach as well, not even dying once. 3-0, 18. I think his passive got popped 1 time out of the entirety of that game. So amazing to Zach as well. But I mean,
32,000 damage on the Echo. as well as the Varus. They both did an outstanding job, which actually I'm more impressed if the Varus got that much damage out when he only had 14 kill participation compared to the Echo's 20.
It's all about that poking Varus. Look at those items. He's all about that poke. And that's what he did. He poked everyone down. He poked them enough so that Camille could kill him. The Echo could kill him. Those ultimates as well. Everything about that. I'm not surprised that Varus got almost pure damage from everyone.
Yeah, and we also mentioned last game how being able to have ward control and vision control is key for securing the early to mid game, which again, we can see that Mankato, the winning team, had better vision control. They had far more wards killed compared to Nova, as well as far more wards placed. Every single lane had more wards placed or equal wards placed than their opposing laner, especially the jungle difference. Kha'Zix only placed 8 wards. Zac placed 25. Granted, part of that is because of itemization. Zac picked up the Stalker's Blade. I believe that's Stalker's Blade? Stalker's Knife? Tracker's Knife.
The Tracker's Knife? Is that what you're asking? Yeah. I mean...
So, inherently, Zac will be able to place down more wards, but in the end, we saw that was much more useful than the Skirmisher Saber.
I do agree with that, but I do say that Mankato, I love the fact that once they got that lead, once they got the fact that their Echo was strong, they stuck together. They took down towers. They took down everything that they could. It was they grouped in 4s, and they had the one, which was Camille. And Camille could kill anyone by herself, except for the Scion. She did try to do that. She noticed that she couldn't do it, and she learned from that mistake. But she knew that she can kill everyone, and that's what happened. Everyone else was taking objectives, while Camille was taking kills.
Yeah, and going on with what you're saying, Camille's mobility is so high that she can really escape just about any pick, unless if the burst damage is so high, which they would need Syndra and Kha'Zix for in order to get that much damage, and also crowd control. So they could allow Camille to be alone, while the rest of them did recognize how the only win condition that Nova had was going for those picks. So you're right, the moment they started to stick together and play as a full team, never splitting up, is when they really secured their own victory. Because they knew that they could win full 5-on-5 team fights, especially with how amazing the synergy between the Zac and the Echo was. Getting those 3 to 4 man parallel convergences, as well as the follow-up Zac knockoffs with the elastic slingshots into the Let's Bounce.
Oh, definitely. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and give it to Echo for the MVP of that game, but that does not mean that no one else on that team did not do a phenomenal job.
Yeah, but that will do it for game number 2. We'll begin into game number 3, which will be Mankato versus the Pupperdogs.
Mankato's still going at it. We still got more of them.
Yeah, so, no, we got more Mankato, so look forward to that, guys. That is going to be quite lovely to see.
I'm pretty sure, and I'm just going to predict this now. Echo is definitely, if the other, Pupperdogs, if they're watching this game, they're definitely saying, screw Echo, screw Camille, we're not making that mistake.
Yeah, but we will be taking a 5-minute break until then, so we will see you once we get back.
So hold our heads up high and beat the drum to what we love. Risk the follow, we have felt it all come crashing down from far above. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions of the world that we defy. A solo ride of the few who rise up high, and we all fight at the last
Okay, and we are back for game number 3. It's going to be another Mankato game versus the Pupperdogs this time. And as we saw in the last game with Mankato, that was quite an exciting game to watch. One thing I am really hopeful for is that we get to see another Echo. However, I am betting it will be banned just because of its performance in the last game. What do you think, Dreamer?
Oh, it's without a doubt that thing's gone. No way Echo is going to be given back to Mankato. I mean, if it does, there has to be like a counterplay to that, and maybe the Pupperdogs have an idea. I don't know, but if it does go through, I will be very, very shocked.
Yeah, and another one could potentially be that Zach. However, there were plenty of jungle bans in the last game that I'm betting you would still want to prioritize over Zach, just because those junglers that were banned, such as Hecarim, and also I believe, was there a Vi ban last game? I don't remember.
No, there was not a Vi ban last game.
Okay. Either way, there are other junglers to prioritize over the Zach. And I would be surprised if they decide to ban Zach over one of those junglers. However, I'm not really sure what they would want to give up instead.
I mean, it really, I don't know. I haven't seen these guys really play as much, so I don't really know their champion pools and everything like that. So I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. I definitely think that the Camille and the Echo was definitely something really good. And obviously, if they can get it back, they will. But I don't know. I don't know what they're going to give away and give and take and see how well it's going to go.
Yeah, and I imagine the Camille will be banned out this time for sure, just because we saw that she was very powerful in the laning phase. And even though she wasn't as great during the mid game, once it got back to the late game stage, she was again a powerhouse, split pushing, keeping the Scion away, and just constantly having 2 to 3 people have to stop her. Now, we are having to reset our clients again for the casters and streamer.
I did that one. I made sure to do that.
Yeah, I forgot. So, my fault this time. I still blame Riot. Either way, I am logging back in right now, and we will be able to go into Champion Select in just a moment. In the meantime, another thing that I think was very underrated, but still did plenty of damage, we did mention in the damage charts, was that Varus. I'm surprised that we don't see any more focus to pick up AD carry like Varus earlier in the game. Mm-hmm. And we're still seeing these people give up the Jhin, or give up the Varus in favor of Jhin.
I want to see an Ashe. Like, I understand Jhin. Jhin is amazing. Jhin is good. He has the damage. He has the CC. He has, the curtain call from far away. I understand that. But I think the Ashe probably would have been a very nice pick for the last game. Now, Ashe has the crystal arrow. She has the slowing potential. She has good range and everything like that. So I do want to see that happen. Now, mind you, I did say I wanted to see a lot of Kha'Zix today, and I've gotten my wish. But I don't think Kha'Zix is, I don't see a lot of people really utilizing what Kha'Zix can do. So I do not actually want to see a Kha'Zix this game. I want to see more of a tanky jungler from both sides.
Yeah, that I'll agree with. And not necessarily tanky, but more diving junglers. We did see a Hecarim ban. We did see the Zac. Both of them were very powerful, and I would like to see that again. And I'm just trying to get into here.
Well, they're trying to invite you, but they keep putting a bot in there.
Yeah.
So they're messing around, but that's fine. This is all fun and well and all that good stuff. So
there we go.
Okay.
Anyways,
so we are going to go ahead and probably get into our picks and bans again for Mankato and Pupperdogs. Mankato has all this hype, has all this momentum and adrenaline. They probably lost a little bit of it just due to the break, but I don't see a problem with them keeping that back up. And I think we're missing a player for Mankato. Don't know what's going on.
Oh, yeah, no. We are. Yeah, we're missing the player from Mankato. Okay, so once we get that player, we will be able to get right into Champion Select. We are still just about on time. no ban removal will be put away since everyone is here on time and we'll be starting.
No, that was your fault. If we're,
yeah, I know.
I'm just messing with you. I'm messing with you. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get into picks and bans once. I think it's ultimatum. It hits that ready. Hits that go start game button that's down at that bottom of the screen. Waiting for it. I'm trying to give
you just need to hit it. Just move the mouse and click start.
There we go. Perfect.
There we go. Why does it say that someone left the lobby though?
Didn't see any. Everyone's in here.
I saw it say WinCal left the lobby.
Everyone's in here. So
okay.
I don't see a problem. Anyways, we are going to go ahead and get into picks and bans. Feels Batman is going to go ahead and ban the Thresh. That's very interesting.
Thresh?
I feel like that is definitely a pick onto the Pupperdogs support. They don't want they don't want him on that Thresh. Rengar is going to go ahead and get banned as well as Elise. These are a lot of target bans because I don't see a problem with the Elise either.
There's the Camille ban, so we did call
Camille,
that one.
There's the Rek'Sai as well. So that was 2 junglers and a support banned on the side of Magneto. While we do see the Rengar, Camille, and LeBlanc, and Echo got through again.
Yeah, I feel like Echo's going to be an immediate pickup here for Giga. Oh, really? They're going to go for the Kazakhs. Well, I guess...
That is hover. That is hover. Don't get too excited.
Yeah, I know. No, but I'm saying since Mankato right now seems promising, this actually would be the first Kazakhs win you get to see for today.
Well, they are going to pick up the Kazakhs. They do feel like they can do well with that Kazakhs and give Kazakhs the win for today. But that did leave the Echo up, unless, you know, Pupperdog says, hey, we don't need an Echo. We'll be fine by ourselves. They do. They say, hey, we have a Shen and a Rise, and I think that's good enough for me. So Rise, especially because Rise can go ahead and just slow down Echo so much, and I like the pick.
Yeah, and if they do go for an Echo, Rise could easily just root him in place before he can go for any damage, and he could also prevent him from being able to use the Chrono Break, which that is the key part that we've been seeing Gigabyte when he goes on this Echo utilize in order to try and keep himself alive. All
right, we do see the Darius getting picked up for the side of Mankato, and it feels Batman says, I'm going to play Darius this time. You did ban it away from me last game. Now it's my turn to use it. And it looks like Gigabyte is actually going to go ahead and pick up the Orion. He is hovering over it, so obviously that is not a for sure thing, but it does look like that lock-in will say yes. So Oriana, instead of the Echo, you know, he does want to have that range and everything like that. But the question is, what is the support and what is the AD carry going to be? Because you don't have a lot of ball carriers for your Oriana.
Yeah, I feel like we're actually going to see Kazakhs be the main ball carrier in this case, just going for those jump-ins with Darius following up, and we'll probably see more of a mage support for a little more magic damage added on, just to make it so that Shen can't get just a Spirit Visage or something like that. Oh, wait.
I like the Lulu. I do like the Lulu pick a lot, just because you have the chance to save someone if they do get caught up by the Kazakhs. I like it a lot, and it also counters the fact that if Mankato does decide to go ahead and pick up that Malzahar, that does counter Malzahar as well.
And I feel like in this case, having an Ashe would be much better than a Jhin, just because the Ashe has far better pick potential with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow compared to Jin's Curtain Call. And let's see what they decide to go for. They will have to lock in a bot lane here. And what will it be to counter this Varus Lulu? Or will they go for something that could potentially lose lane but win later on?
So like a hyper carry kind of like thing right there. It does look like the Lucian.
Oh. Lucian and Karma.
Huh. I did say this at the beginning of the beginning of the stream that I did not expect to see a Lucian at all this game, just because, you know, Lucian is not really at a good spot, but that does not mean that he can't carry. So I want to see if Mankato will be able to do something with this Lucian Karma bot. That's a very, very huge poke lane as well. And Nocturne is going to be the last pickup for the Pupperdogs, and it's going to be going obviously into the jungle.
So they have a very roam-heavy composition, because you can easily have Ryze use his ultimate in order to move people around as a unit, But at the same time, the Pupperdogs could easily have Nocturne ult in with a Shen ult on top of him to basically be a free Shen delivery service to whoever they want. And I feel like that's going to be a very massive mid-game threat. But if the Mankato can either snowball well above to where it doesn't matter, or if they can survive to late game, then they can still easily win. And I feel like their best bet is going to be going for an early game lead because Darius should be able to beat a Shen early game. Kha'Zix versus Nocturne, I'm not too sure about that matchup. I feel like it's Kha'Zix that should win. And Lucian definitely outdamages Varus early on. The only issue is that Varus has an easy time poking out Lucian before he can go for any all-ins.
That's also, I mean, I do agree with you on that fact, but you also have to remember that Varus has very little mana that he can really work with, or that many skills, while Lucian can kind of dash around and be able to use more of his mana, more of his poking comp or poking potential, and going in on that as well. Because remember, Lucian is not an escapeless carry. He does have the dashes and everything to get out, and Varus has to have, you know, really good mana management to make sure that he can be able to poke and farm and stay alive at the same time.
Yeah, and honestly, looking at this composition, remember how last game we commended the Nova squad for being able to get the double Ocean Drake?
Yep.
I feel like that would be much better on the Pupperdogs right now because they have two people that can scale really well with the tier. And Ocean Dragon allows you to easily build up that tier really fast without ever having to really back, unless if you're low on health and are under threats.
Well, I mean, who knows? Maybe we won't get a Notion at all. Maybe we'll get 3 Infernals in a Cloud. I don't know.
If we get 3 Infernals, then we definitely know which team will have the advantage.
Well, that's also true, but that's also saying that one team is going to get all 3 Infernals, and I highly doubt that's going to happen.
No, if it's Infernals, they'll probably be contested heavily. And as we mentioned, the Pupperdogs have a very easy time roaming around the map as a unit. They have Ryze ult, Shen ult, Nocturne ult. The only people that have trouble following up with their team is only if the people split apart are the Varus or Lulu, which I doubt Lulu is going to be separate from her team alone.
You also have to remember this, is that they are a very roam-heavy comp, but when it comes to the team fight, they're going to want to go in a lot. They're going to be very, very condensed. The Ryze is going to try to, you know, the Ryze and the Varus are going to be kind of like in the back line trying to poke as much as possible, but Nocturne and Shen are going to be up in their face. Even Lulu can be up in their face. So that kind of gives Orianna a very good chance to activate her ball, activate her ultimate, and get, you know, a really good 3-man, 4-man, depending on where she positions the ball, a good ultimate. So we will have to see where that is, as well as you also have to remember this. Darius does have that pull. So if he does flash pull, there's an ultimate opportunity right there as well.
And there is also the Karma speed up with the Master
Exactly.
Defiance.
That's exactly another reason as well. They have so many options, or so much potential to go ahead and get in their face, that Pupperdogs are going to have to kind of worry about that a little bit.
Yeah, that is very true, and something we'll have to watch for. And I'm kind of curious as to whether or not these teams are going to go for early game picks to try and snowball in front of each other, or if they're going to try and just farm up and go for these mid-game fights, which is kind of what each composition is built for. But I do agree with you that Mankato has the better team fighting team just because of the way that they stack up against the Pupperdogs. As you mentioned, the Orianna Shockwave, the Karma Mantra Defiance, Darius himself is always a large threat in team fights. You can never really ignore him, because if you do, he's eventually going to get his passive off and will be popping off, killing everyone left and right.
Darius Spencer? That's all I heard. Darius Spencer? Is that what we're going to see?
I mean, we may. You never know.
we might be able to see a Darius Spencer. That would be actually really cool. But we are going to go ahead and load into the Rift. We do have the Grasp of the Undying going on to Darius, another Thunderlords going on to the Kha'Zix and the Orianna. Lucian is going to go ahead and get the Warlords and the Wind Speakers for Karma because, you know, shields are amazing.
Yeah, and I feel like you don't really need the Thunderlords on Karma because you have enough damage on the rest of your team as it is, especially with Orianna, Kha'Zix, Darius. You don't need that small little damage that Thunderlords is going to give.
I don't know. I don't think so, because remember, Karma is very poke heavy in the laning phase. So I don't think that that's not a bad idea to have Thunderlords. Yes, the Windspeakers is a better choice just because you can 5-man shield your entire team. But
we see the entire Mankato team meeting up in the mid lane. They're just... Oh my god! What?
I approve so much! I want to get a hype in the chat. Please, someone give me a hype in that chat. I want Kappas. I want hype. I want. Oh my god.
Pog champs. Let's get some Pog champs. That was.
Oh my. That was what I did. That was great.
Can we please recognize though? There was one person who messed that up, and that was Karma. So let's get a scumbag Karma in the chat.
But I will say this: Karma does still have the mastery rank for it. So I will. If none of them had, or if like they all had like different mastery ranks, that would have been funny too.
Yeah, that would have been funny. But I loved how they just got into the line, into the vision, and then just did that. That was... that is team coordination at its finest. And we can see, actually, that they will be going for a very standard jungle start. It won't be the double blue buff starts like we saw last time. And it will just be red side for both teams. Or the bottom side for both teams, not red side.
Red side for Kha'Zix and blue side for the Nocturne.
Yeah, which Nocturne you really do need the blue buff. He is very man hungry, especially in the early game when he's trying to farm in the jungle. And while a red buff start is decent on Nocturne, it's not as great for if you are trying to go for a gank right after you finish farming. And already
there's a lot of damage going onto that top lane right there. And I mean, Shen is gonna have to do something about that. With, you know, he does have options to do. You know, he does have the little area that will negate a bunch of the auto attacks, and that Darius is an auto attack hungry or heavy champion with a bunch of his abilities like that. But I mean, Shen's just gonna have to take the damage so far. And wow, the instant level 2, and they're just going in onto the bars. The bars that actually the exhaust has to go down. And wow, Varus actually has to pop his pot for that one. The instant, once they got level 2, they were like, we're going in right here, right now.
That was actually very well timed too, because Karma started going in the moment she hit level 2. So it wasn't even like they hit level 2, waited a bit. It was literally the seconds the minion died, they went in. And we can already see that this Lucian is keeping up the damage consistently. Granted, Lulu is having some well-timed shields with health picks in order to make sure that the damage is partially mitigated, but it's not enough.
Ooh, there's going to be a lot of damage going onto that Rise, taking a lot of auto attacks, and the attack, the command attack, and the command, or the slow. I can't remember off the top of my head at the moment, but there was a lot of damage going onto there, and it does look like Kha'Zix and Darius is going on to... Oh my god, the flash has to go in! The first blood going over to the Kha'Zix. Nocturne did not expect that, nor did I. But flash for flash kill Mankato.
And I feel like Kha'Zix should have gone into the enemy jungle to see if he could try and go for some counter jungling. However, just going back to his own is much better because he knows for sure which camps are alive. He doesn't know if the Nocturne cleared his full top side, got the Raptors and all that, which he didn't, and Raptors is one of the most beneficial camps to take. But again, he didn't know that knowledge, so it was better overall to go for what he knew for sure.
Oh, a little coordination on the bot side right there. Lucian actually going back in! Exhaust going onto the Varus, and the flashes have to go on. Flash again, the heal's going off as well. I don't know, Lucian is going in really hard. Oh my god, they're trying their hardest, but Lulu's a little bit out of mana, so she couldn't really do anything. And a lot flashes, heals, exhaust. There's nothing down at that.
Oh, Nocturne in the mid lane. Will they be going for something here?
Oh, they will be going. They're gonna try to do, you know, they're trying to get some damage onto there, but they're not gonna go ahead and get the Orianna because of the position that she was in. But jeez, bot lane, you need to calm down.
I feel like they're trying to at least get a Ghost Burn from the Orianna or Flash, but neither one really went down. Now, one thing as a support main I will want to point out is when you are playing Karma, you want to make sure your lane has minion advantage. And never mind, I'll stop on that.
Nope.
Darius
nope,
was trying to go in.
Oh, actually, we do see the flash. There's a flash that you wanted to see in mid lane, but it actually went onto the Rise. So Rise did have to flash. He does have his ghost still, but that's very unfortunate for Rise because he is now susceptible to another early gank.
That is very true, and we do see that Cosmos is now heading towards the top lane, trying to set up for a gank onto the Shen. Will they be able to do anything? Oh,
not with that miss of a pull, but there's the actually that was a lot of damage right there just with the Kha'Zix, not really even landing a Q on there. So I won't.
No, he got the Q mid dash.
Oh, did he get a mid dash? I did not see it.
Yeah, he got the Q mid dash, and it was in isolation because he wasn't close enough to the tower at that point. So
I did just check the replay right now, so you are right. It did go to mid dash, but I mean, there goes Shen. Shen now is having to use his teleport, but Nocturne.
I feel like could have saved it because Darius wouldn't get that much damage with only a Doran's Blade.
Well, you also have to remember you do want the experience and everything as well. But
that's true.
Kha'Zix,
level 6 is Shen the better.
Yes, Kha'Zix is being seen at the top side of River Bush, and Nocturne is actually doing a lot of counter juggling right now, seeing that Kha'Zix is down there. And that's what we've been seeing a lot with Kha'Zix today. Is if they're noticed, people are gonna counter gank them or counter jungle them. Sorry.
Yeah, that is the general strategy you want to do as a jungler. Whenever you see that someone is on a certain side of the map, you immediately go to the opposite end and counter jungle as many camps as you can. Because that denies gold, that denies experience, and as we can see, that is working out quite effectively. Because now Nocturne is a level ahead, and also still behind in total gold, but was able to catch himself back up after that solo kill.
Yeah, 11. He is 11 CS ahead of the Kha'Zix right now. But I mean, that solo kill is really what's helping the Kha'Zix, and it's interesting to see that Kha'Zix did not actually grab his challenging smite, so he still does have him on the smite.
No, he has it now.
Longer. No, he just got it now. Like, as I'm talking about this.
Yeah, he just got it. And
yeah,
we do now see, as I mentioned before, that I was expecting the Rise and Varus to both pick up tiers. They now have that on. I wonder if they have it decently stacked at any point yet. The Rise currently about a sixth of the way there. Varus literally just picked it up, so he barely has anything. And my guess is we won't be seeing those turn into Manamutes until roughly 20 minutes in.
Wait, Rise gets a Manamune?
Archangel staff. I was talking about for Varus specifically.
I'm just messing with you. Anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Don't be like that.
No. I'm not being sassy. I just realized my own mistake, and it was more like self-hatred.
Alright. Whatever you say. Manamune, I want to see Manamune on Rise. That's it.
I mean, hey, you can do Manamune and Archangel Staff. Get double the mana.
They don't stack.
No, the mana stacks.
I'm gonna look into that one, and we'll talk about this later.
You have to finish one complete before the other one will start stacking mana.
Yet again, I'm gonna look into this, but we're gonna talk about that later. Right now, what do we have? We do see that Dragon is up. It is, a Mountain Drake. So and not really much.
Right now, Mankato has good ward coverage around it, so they have the advantage when it comes to being able to control that objective. And with it being a Mountain Dragon, that does definitely favor...
Oh, here we go again! We're gonna see how much... Oh my god, the damage that the Nocturne is doing! Nocturne... Oh, yeah, she's gonna go onto the Orianna, and Orianna... Oh, he has the flash. Coming in, he does have the ghost going down. Darius is actually behind them all, and he's gonna... Oh, he tried to do that. Oh, the flash as well onto the Shen, and Shen is gonna go ahead and miss that, but Darius is right behind him. What is he gonna do? Shen is actually trying his hardest to... Oh, he actually gets him out, and now bot lane is fighting. Shen is trying his hardest to go ahead and get onto the Orianna and kill him. The Darius is gonna ult, and the blood...
meanwhile, bot lane!
Kill, and bot lane does end up getting the Lulu as well. The exhaust is going on. She is taking a lot of turret damage right there. The heal, that's it. That's one more turret. She's gonna go down. That's too many turret shots that got taken right there. And Lucian is very... Yeah, I can tell he's very... He's trying to get it. He wants it. He wants it so bad.
He has very little mana, though. He only has enough for either an E or a Q, not both. So he has to be...
Oh, he does now! He got the level up, but he is out of range and will take another tower shot.
That is the sad thing about Lucian. His range is so short that it is hard to stay within range of people, especially people like Varus who can kite quite easily. Varus has a very high range with his ability, so it's quite easy for him to stay at a safe distance from this Lucian. As we can see, he's able to stay under tower and keep himself alive. And overall, that entire trade that we saw throughout the map was a 2-for-2. Which...
Oh, Lucian! That was not the smartest play, sir, and you are going to lose your life for that one.
And now we can see that the gold is equal up between these teams, only a 300 difference in favor of Mankato. But overall, it's basically an even game. The only lane that really has a large discrepancy right now is the top lane, with this Darius just having a massive lead over this Shen of roughly 800 gold.
Alright, 3 stacks on there. It's a lot of damage, 4 stacks. He's gonna go get
If he gets to 1 more, he'll have his passive fully procced.
Yeah, but if Shen is smart, he's not gonna go anywhere near the Darius until those procs are gone.
Yeah, and...
Yep, there it is. It's gone. So, looks like they're gonna try to get Dragon prepared.
They still have really good ward coverage all around it. They have the pink watching mid lane, and they can see with the ward over by the red buff that Nocturne is near top. He is now hitting down, and they are collapsing.
Yeah,
they
Nocturne
see
does
it.
have Nocturne does still have his ultimate. There's Paranoia right now going onto the Karma, and they are going to go ahead and try to get this. But Kha'Zix still ends up getting it, and does Karma actually get away? Karma actually has to flash away, and there it is. Rise will end up getting the kill, but they do end up getting the Dragon. I don't know how much that is worth, and Shen's down there as well. Did he ult? No, he teleported down there.
He ended up teleporting right when the Nocturne started ulting, and I honestly think that getting Dragon for the 1 death is worth it. But if this Kha'Zix dies, then it is not nearly as worth it. We see the teleport.
Oh, so unfortunate right there. Darius is gonna go ahead and teleport down to the bottom lane and doing. Oh, he does miss the pull, and Varus just got an easy kill with that straight shot of his Q.
I feel like the moment Kha'Zix died, Darius should have cancelled his teleport and just stayed top lane continuing the push, because then he could at least pressure the tower and maybe go for an objective. Especially since they just picked up Mountain Dragon, he'll be doing 10% more damage as true damage.
Up there, oh my god, the ultimates, 2 ultimates, 3 ultimates, he's gonna get ulted right there! He's actually gonna die! Orianna's in the back lane, he's using the Shout Command, another death, oh actually Orianna's gonna get it, and then the Shen is gonna go down as well to the Darius. That's a double kill for none. Actually, sorry, Lucian did end up dying right there, I am very sorry. So 2 for 1.
Yeah, you are right, well, 2 for 3. Or 3 for 1, 3 for 1. Because Varus, Lulu, Shen.
Yeah, you're right. 3 for 1. Math, I cannot do it. I promise.
Well, you just take your hand, you look at your fingers, and you...
Okay, stop.
Okay.
Moving on.
Alright,
okay,
but
so,
either way, there was also
go.
a lot more burn than that, aside from just kills. We also saw the teleport by Darius, the ultimate by Shen. There was also an ultimate by Darius, and there was a lot overall burn to just try and protect each other. Not nearly as many big cooldowns, because many summoner spells are still up. Which, actually, yeah, all of them are still up. The only one that really got burned was the Ghost from Orianna just to get to bot lane that much faster.
Yeah, but I mean, Ghost has a very low cooldown anyway, so that's not as big of a detriment as, you know, others that were there. But, I mean, Darius getting a double kill, Orianna getting one of those kills as well. And look at this, Darius just doing so... I mean, he was doing a lot of damage, but did get negated by a lot of the auto attacks that, you know, Shen can just negate right then and there. But, I mean, if he had the chance, he could do it. I feel like Shen is not very safe up there against that Darius right now. Darius, I mean, has his Black Cleaver, and Shen does not have a full item finished yet.
Yeah, just looking over at what Shen has been maxing, he maxed out his Q first and is now going for his E second, which... Oh, is there any aggression coming bot lane? Yes, there is an ultimate from Lucian!
Oh, and actually Varus ends up missing the ultimate. He's gonna heal and get the 2 auto attacks. Lulu is in a very bad position right now. Slows, heals, and flashes are gonna go back down there, and she does end up getting away. But Varus, again, is just down for the count.
And that was all Summoner's bot lane for just one flash from the Lucian too. So in terms of Summoner spell trade-off, that was massively in favor of Mankato, and now they'll probably gain this tower as well because there's no one close to bot lane at all to defend, and frankly, support Lulu will not have that much wave clear.
Oh, exactly. So here we go again. Shen is just doing, or getting just destroyed on. Oh, and the paranoia coming onto the Wait a moment, Orianna's trying to do some juke plays and does not get out. Tries to command Shockwave to get both the Nocturne and the Rise away from each other, but does not work.
Thankfully, it did not go on cooldown either, though, so it is not a wasted ultimate. And there are 3 people in the enemy jungle right now.
Here we go again.
But
oh my god, so
nearby.
much damage. Oh, is he actually... Rise is actually going to try to come in there. Kha'Zix is going to flash. Oh, and Rise is actually taking a lot of damage. Rise is going to flash away. Shen is going to come in and get the taunt. And Nocturne is going to go ahead and get that kill onto the Kha'Zix. And that's 4 people in that bot jungle. And 1 death. Oh, Nocturne was very close, but it does look like because Shen did teleport down there, Darius is going to go ahead and get this tower. But it does look like Puppers are actually going to go ahead and try to get the mid lane as well.
So we'll be seeing a total of 3 towers down throughout the squad. Oh, never mind!
Oh, Shockwave is going to come in! It does actually a lot of damage, and they're not going to be able to get the tower.
So that Shockwave was there to save the tower. It wasn't to go for any kills, but simply to do enough damage to say, be careful, because I can hurt. And it was enough of a threat and enough of a wave clear in order to really deter them. And will Darius go for a potential dive here?
Oh, please do it, Darius! The grab, the dash, the ultimate, the dunk!
Woo! Man, I mean, if he's going for these type of dunks, he should really be using the basketball skin rather than the academy skin.
Whatever. To each his own. But that's another kill onto that Darius right there. 4, 0, and 1.
Yeah, the only thing that's a little sad, though, is that means that now the Shockwave and the Guillotine are down for the next team fights, unless if they can just stall out long enough until the cooldowns are back up.
Well, Shockwave is about a quarter of the way back, and the Guillotine is about a quarter of the way through, so we will see what happens right there. Nocturne is trying to get onto the Lucian. He does land his Q, but will not continue up to it, and they do see the Lulu. There is 4 of them down here, and they look like they're going to go ahead and try to get this next mountain Drake. And that's all 5 of them down there.
That's going to be a double mountain drag, and that's going to be all 5 members coming down from both teams.
Oh, Paranoia going in onto the Orianna. They do end up getting the mountain drake, and oh, Rise is about to go down. Orianna will be able to get the kill on the Rise. Darius is super close to dead, and they do not want to keep engaging on this, and they're not gonna do it. They do end up getting the dragon and a kill for none.
Yeah, well, can't really say completely for nothing. There was a ghost and a flash burn. The flash burn from... No, wait, no. No, there was no flash burn. I thought there was. Huh.
No,
okay, it was just ghost burned.
Yep.
It was basically for nothing then.
No, it was... The flash you saw was burned on the shed.
Oh, that's what I saw. Okay.
Yeah, but that's even another turret going down there, and bye-bye, Lulu.
Alright, so even though earlier the gold was really close and we thought these teams were equal, we can see that Mankato, the moment they start to get a lead, they're very good at grasping onto it and taking it further as much as they can. And I expect to see more of an aggressive playstyle from Mankato throughout this game, but they do have to reset. They have a lot of gold on them right now. Both Darius and Kha'Zix are saying on just over 1,000 gold. They will be able to get quite a few items from this. Darius, I imagine, is going for a Dead Man's Plate to give him just that much more mobility, which a Darius with a Dead Man's Plate and also a Karma, he is going to be a massive backline threat. You have to keep an eye on him.
Oh, 100%. And I'm actually kind of curious to see, because Darius is hovering over the Rift Herald. Baron is going to come up in 40 seconds. I wonder if they're going to try to get the Rift Herald as quick as possible. And it does look like they are. Nocturne actually ends up picking up a Ghost Blade for himself, so he is kind of going damage Nocturne.
Yeah, damage Nocturne is more what I would expect to see, just because with the change to the lethality, it makes it a little bit more viable.
Oh, Lulu! You were in such a bad spot once again!
I don't even know why she was there. That wasn't Baron. Why would you try and defend that? It's just Rift Herald.
Oh.
Like, yes, Rift Herald is still a decent objective to go for because now it gives Darius a lot of split push pressure against this Shen, which he already had a lot. He's 3 levels ahead. He is 4 kills ahead. This Darius is just massive compared to the Shen.
67, yeah, 67 CS at 20 minutes? That's ridiculous.
If you want to see what's even more ridiculous, the gold difference total is about double.
Another Paranoia coming onto the Orianna right there. He's going to get so much damage, and he's going to give it actually to the Ryze. And Darius is going to teleport. He's actually going to finish the teleport, and he gets 2 of them right there. The dunk, he's going to have to flash away, but he's taking a lot of damage from the lead. It's not going to kill him. Actually, it ends up killing him. I'm sorry, I miscalculated there.
That was crazy.
There it is. There's the dash away. He has to get out of there. And that's a 1-for-1. And Lulu again trying to ward. She has to flash away again this time. So she will get out with her life, but Lulu is about almost dead. She can't stay around.
It looks like Lulu is, or not Lulu, it looks like Lucian is building for an Essence Reaver, so he's going to be not nearly as man-hungry as he is anymore once he completes that item. Except for the fact that he won't be proccing the mana regeneration that much just because he won't be getting the crits with only 20% that often. Unless if he goes a rapid fire cannon is what I imagine would be next. However, we will have to just wait and see. And I also just realized that both Ryze and Varus have yet to upgrade their tiers.
I mean, they kind of can't at the moment. They definitely need to go ahead and do some other... You know, they need to work around some other items and everything like that. Darius is kind of by himself. He is going to go ahead and grab onto this. Oh my god, so much damage just with that one auto attack. And, oh, that's a bad idea, Nocturne. Don't do it.
Yeah, this isn't Darius, and you saw what he just did to that Varus. You do not want to find out what he can do to you.
That Void, the Void, or the Mark of the Void is doing a lot of damage. Be able to chunk him down so much. Paranoia coming down again, this time onto the Lucian. Exhaust onto the Nocturne, and nothing comes out of it. Nothing really happened except the exhaust being burnt on the side of
He did push them off the tower though, so that buys a little bit of time for them to reset and try and figure out what to do next. I feel like this inner tower is still going to go down, as well as the bot inner tower, because it's still a Darius with the Glimpse of the Void alone back there.
Oh, there's the 3-man shockwave, and it does look like Ryze is going to try to go down. Ryze actually got Wild Girl, and there we go. There's Ryze. Ryze is down. Shen is down. Lulu is down. And, oh, Orianna almost actually went down with that. But Karma was able to... A flash, a double flash, and a triple kill going onto the Lucian. And this might be another tower, but Kha'Zix's got to get out of there.
They can easily just rotate bot and take that tower with Darius if they really want to.
No. Darius has got this. He's perfect. They don't need to rotate at all.
No, I mean after the Nexus tower.
Oh, definitely. Tower. They're gonna definitely get that. They're gonna.
Oh, Darius is rotating over. Actually, he wants his inhibitor.
Yeah, definitely a good idea right there. The death timers for these guys are very small, and there's your Manamune. Vars does end up getting the Manamune, but that is a inhibitor for Manketo.
Okay. Now, I just really want to look at one thing quick.
Yes.
Darius has double the total gold of Shen. Shen's total gold is 5,000. Darius is 10,000.
I'm not surprised. And the only reason why I say that is Shen has not been able to do any split pushing or anything like that. But they actually they're trying this Desperation Baron play.
Oh, they are. Yeah, right now Mankato is quite a bit of ways. But they are starting to group up. They either have to rush it down or turn.
Darius is here. He's going to go. He's going to get exhausted. And
is this the Penta that you're looking for?
Kill. Shen is still in the backline taking so much damage from the Baron, and Paranoia, he's going to come in. Oh, the Shen is going to go ahead and ultimate onto there as well. They actually do get the Orianna, but I guess the Shen was canceled. Oh, no, Shen was killed, sorry, by Kha'Zix, and Kha'Zix will actually go ahead and kill the Varus by himself as well. Darius is just going to say, you're dead. Ryze actually almost ends up killing the Lucian, but now it is his turn to say, hey, you can go ahead and kill me. Oh, he actually ends up missing the flash. He's like, nope, you're gonna die as well.
Woo! And we also see that the super minions are still taking care of that. Nexus towers right now. One of them goes down, the other one is quite low. Let's take a look at the health. No, never mind. It's not that low. It's only about a fifth of the way down. But still, it's doing quite a bit of damage. It's already almost halfway down, and they need to clear this out. And there's even a large wave topside with 2 cannon minions and a lot of casters.
A lot of casters. It really depends on what they're going to do right now. They have to stop the mid push right now. And while they stop the mid push, it looks like they're going to Mankato is going to go ahead and try to take this Cloud Drake, or even Lucian just by himself is going to go ahead and take the Cloud Drake. Because
I feel like Kaz is going to join just to make it that much faster, but Kha'Zix should hold on to the smite because at this point, there's no.
They're all just going in right now. That's it. It doesn't even matter. No smite needed. That's a Cloud Drake for them. So that's more speed for the side of Mankato.
Cloud Dragon with a Karma. Which
and you also have Yomu's Ghostblade on Lucian. There's too much speed.
And Deadman's on Darius.
Oh my god. Like I said, too much movement speed for this team right now. They could be anywhere and everywhere at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, we know this game is made by Riot Games, but they may have some influence from Sega because gotta go fast. I mean, seriously.
I can't believe you just made that joke.
I wanted to. So,
I can't believe I'm just not going to say anything else after this. Anyways, they do actually position the Darius to go ahead and stay at the bot to kind of like push some pressure as well, while they're going to go ahead and finish off this Baron. Oh, the Paranoia is coming in. But they do end up finishing the Baron. The Rise is kind of by himself. Lucian is going to go ahead and finish him off, and Rise is going to
This whole time, though, Darius is still in the bot lane, just taking towers left and right. Just look at him.
And it was perfect redemption right there. Now that he has super minions, there's 3 of them trying to get rid of this Darius, but Darius is this tanky dude that he's like, hey, I'm here to stay.
Super minions with Baron buff, you have to remember.
Oh no, this is probably the push for the game right now. They're gonna go ahead, they're gonna try to get this. Flashes and everything. Oh, the ultimate, and that looks like it's gonna be game right there.
Yeah, I don't see a way they can really stop this.
Yeah, there's really nothing they can do. Lucian is going to say, hey, this game is over. And that's another win for Mankato.
Yeah, that is very true. And with Mankato winning that game, that means that they are now 2-0. Granted, they're the only team that has played 2 matches, but still, that is looking very nice for their record to have won their first 2 games. Now, the first game was won a lot more dominating in style, while the second game against Pupperdogs was a little bit more rocky at the starts. And they still were able to pick their way back up, and the moment they grabbed the lead, as we've seen before with Mankato, they know how to take a lead and run with it.
Yes, 100%. The highest CS going onto the Darius, 704, had the most amount of gold. Actually, looking at the entire team of Poppers, they did not have anywhere near the amount of gold that the Karma had. Karma had a little bit more gold than everyone else, but that was very, very unfortunate. Mankato played that extremely, extremely well.
Yeah, and as mentioned before, so look at the gold difference between the Darius and the Shen. Shen having almost less gold than the supports, which I'm not even sure how that's happening. That should not really be a case. I feel like Shen was not the best pick in this part. It didn't seem like Puffboy was that comfortable on the pick.
I don't agree with that, just because what Shen has to do is Shen is supposed to be protecting of the team. He's supposed to be taunting. He's supposed to be doing everything. So he was a right pick. Whether he was comfortable on it or not is, up to debate. But I don't feel like that was a wrong pick. Darius just got ahead, and when a Darius gets ahead, it's very, very hard for anyone to stop that beast, that raid boss right there. And the problem is that he wasn't able to farm. He doesn't have triple digit farm. He has the lowest, almost the lowest, Lulu being the actual lowest for the gold, but he wasn't able to do anything like that to get himself back up. He has 1 completed item, and that's it.
Yeah, and I actually just realized with the Darius, they didn't really have any reliable way to apply grievous wounds to him, aside from Varus's Hail of Arrows, which that is highly situational. They have to be standing on it in order for it to really work, which, frankly, it's a small radius. You can easily walk off of it as a Darius.
Well, I will say this. Definite props to the Darius. Feels Batman. I'm going to give you the MVP. But yet again, I'm not going to say that the rest of the team did not do a phenomenal job. Gigabyte did great with the Orion ults, Karma being able to shield, and Kha'Zix being able to assassinate anyone. But Feels Batman, you're taking my MVP for today.
Honestly, I'm going to give the MVP to not one person, but two people. I'm going to give it to the bot lane duo, just because of the work they put in early on in the game. We saw what they did with that level 2 advantage. They immediately went in, shut people out. They were able to get kills under the tower. Yes, they ended up being support for support trade, but they were able to really take a lead and try and constantly pressure this Varus.
Well, it's very unfortunate, but Pupperdogs, you have things to learn. You're going to go ahead and practice and everything like that. Congratulations to Mankato for getting the 2-0 for this week. I believe that puts them, obviously, because they've been playing 2 games, that does put them at number 1 in the standings.
Yes, that does. And they will not be playing next week, however, so we have yet to see if anyone else will be able to get a similar record to them. We know that as of now, no one will be able to really pass them up, but we could get some tied-up records here.
Well, if I remember correctly, was it St. Olaf hasn't played yet, so they could go 2-0 as well, and we will see what happens week 3 between those 2 teams.
Yeah, exactly. And we also have St. Cloud, the Saints, and Winona that have all won their games so far, and they could easily win again in order to try and get that 2-0 record as well. But
definitely.
Until then, we will have to just wait until next time. And for now, we have had an excellent week 1. I am so happy with the way things have gone. Are you excited to see what's going to happen in later weeks, Dreamer?
Oh, I'm excited just to see what happens in this whole series and this whole season in general. I mean, yes, there are, the 0-1s and everything like that, but no one played poorly. Everyone played very well, some better than others. That's fine. I feel like everyone's going to do phenomenal these upcoming weeks, and we're just going to see who comes out on top.
Yeah, exactly. But until then, we will see you guys next week on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. And for now, I hope all of you have a wonderful night. Dreamer, do you have any last words to say?
Later.